What happens, Devo, when you got this card? Game over, right? Do you know what that is? Defense, rebounding, and toughness. That's what we got.
Hey, this is Darren McFadden, and you're listening to The Morning Rush.
Live from the Busch Light Studios.
People who really want to have a good time won't come to a slaughterhouse. And we've got entirely too many troublemakers here.
On your favorite Arkansas sports talk station.
I don't like you because you're dangerous. That's right. I am dangerous.
Streaming live from
HitThatLine.com.
I
hit the 7-iron like John Daly hits the 3.
This is The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson.
You just gotta keep living, man.
And Tommy Kraft.
We follow orders or people die. Are we clear?
The Morning Rush starts right now.
Yes, sir.
You know, it's kind of funny. It was National Card Playing Day yesterday, and Eric Musselman, prior to the Florida game, was talking with his team about the game spades and what Arkansas's ace of spade is, which is defense, rebounding, and toughness. And that's exactly what's been on display this season. Also got a chance to catch up with him yesterday in a press conference getting ready for Kentucky, which I know all of you are excited for 1 o'clock on Saturday. It's Kentucky Hate Week as of yesterday, today, kind of whenever you felt. Maybe it was even before Florida, because that's how much disdain and how much you despise that basketball program. Not the football team, not the baseball team, but that basketball program. So we're going to let you unleash your anger this morning, coming up at about 6:30. Your least favorite Kentucky fan, probably Ashley Judge. Your least favorite coach, I would guess probably Cal or Patino. And then your least favorite player, which I know will have a wide array of those. Now, during the press conference yesterday, Eric Musselman touched on that J.D. Notae, one of the things that he's been doing in practice is playing defense while holding a towel above his head. For anyone that's had to hold something above your head for an extended period of time, you know how excruciating painful that gets after this, because it really works your biceps and your triceps and your shoulders and all that. So we're going to get also this morning, coming up at 8 after Richard, the worst high school or collegiate or middle school conditioning you've ever had to do. Mountains, suicides, gassers, whatever it may be. We'll get into all that this morning to relive some of the agony that you went through during your high school sports back in the day.
Yeah, we're all trying to thaw out here together today. It's brought to you this morning by The Fence Man, the company you can trust when it comes to building your next fence or gating project. They are looking for people to help join the team right now. They need more experienced craftsmen that have fence building, construction skills, welding skills. They want you to come talk with them. They got a $500 sign-on bonus, top pay, great package there when you go to The Fence Man. Apply in person when you can get there. 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. That's 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man, he ain't afraid of no work. How you guys doing this morning?
I'm good.
I could not. I'm at home today. This is the first time ever I could not get out of my driveway. Physically walk out. I don't park it at my house because I live on a hillside. I called Ty about 30 minutes ago, Drew. I can't walk up the hill to the street to walk over to my car. It's just a sheet of ice.
In your defense, it is a pretty steep hill.
It is. I mean, I've never. This is the first time I've ever missed because of, snow or ice on the ground there. I could not get traction. And coming in yesterday, I got home. I don't know. I left the office about the time y'all started halftime. I literally slid down the driveway and was lucky to not, break a hip at my elderly age, So, be careful out there, particularly if you're on an incline. So how was y'all's drive in the River Valley?
It was, once I got on the main road, it was fine. I didn't really have an issue. And to be fair, someone at your age, Tommy, it's probably not a good idea that you get out in this weather. We'll keep the lights on here as we usually do. And you stay home, sit by the fire, have some coffee.
He's in his 40s, not his 80s.
Yeah, but he's at a certain age. We don't want him to have an injury of some sort or anything. You were talking about how healthy you've been through refereeing.
Not going to break a hip.
And I don't want Tommy to break a hip or injure a knee or something like that. So have some coffee. You and Laura have a nice little stay-at-home romantic day. Send the kids off snow, doing whatever.
There's no snow. That's the problem.
No supervision. Well, there's ice, so they can sled on that, right? This is actually the better days. For when I was a kid, I remember the best days were not when it snowed, but when there was ice on the road, because that means you could go that much faster down the hills, down the streets. And so this is, if I'm Dylan and I'm Abigail, Tommy, this is a great day for me because I'm sledding all over the yard today.
Yeah, now you're right from that, but there's nothing to stop you either. So you better know where you're going. You can't really steer on this. So but you're right. This is more like the Chevy Chase Christmas Vacation, spray the stuff on the bottom of the pan kind of sledding today. But it as a radio man that operates towers and transmitters and things that get a lot of ice on them high up in the air, this weather is actually preferred because none of it sticks. It all bounces off, and that sleet was pouring down yesterday like rain. So, but it from a traction standpoint, this is about as bad as I've ever seen it.
Yeah, so. I did have one of my roommates text me yesterday. Someone high up in their company said in the 23 years he's been here, he has never seen it this bad. So when I heard that, I was like, well, this could actually be a situation, because I didn't know what we were going to do this morning. I woke up a little earlier, started my car, and just made sure, hey, got it good to go. And I'm going to be honest, it was about the same, because this happened about 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago.
This was, first weekend of February.
Yeah, I'm going to be honest, it was about the same for me getting to where I needed to go. And I don't know who I need to thank for, I don't know if it's the city of Fort Smith or if it's RDOT, whoever it is, but the roads were, I'm going to be honest, I don't know what they're like in NWA, Little Rock, or all over the place, but they were not that bad for me this morning at least.
Yeah, just take your time. I mean, if I lived flat, I parked my car across the street at a golf course so I can get here is what my general operating procedure is on days like today, but I couldn't walk to the car. That's how bad it is today. So hopefully people can get to the game on Saturday. That's kind of concerning me a little bit this morning, guys, is hopefully these roads are clear, not just in Benton and Washington County. I think it'll be fine there, but if you're listening in Harrison, or you're listening in, JT down in Hot Springs, listening this morning, are people from, various parts of the state, the western side of the state even, from Little Rock, going to be able to get to Bud Walton Arena? I think by Saturday it should be much improved, but we got another round of this stuff on the way, and freezing rain, and another wave of winter weather moving in today.
And that's what's a bummer about this, because I do know that you were bringing that up before the show. You would hope that this would just be the last line. Unfortunately, like you said, I don't know if it's going to be necessarily an onslaught of more of what we saw yesterday, but there is going to be a good chunk of stuff heading not just here in the River Valley, but all over the state. And for fans that really want to make it to Bud Walton Arena in Fayetteville for this game on Saturday, I hope by either Saturday mid-morning or Friday night, the roads start to clear up. I was looking at the temperatures, and I think it was a high of like 41 on Saturday, Tommy. There is sun on Friday, which is a good thing, but I am curious to see what these roads and what these conditions look like for fans that want to make it up to Bud Walton. I'm going to go regardless, even if I have to drive 40, 50 miles an hour, but for fans
still too fast.
For fans that might try and get up there and are just like, I don't want to risk it, I understand kind of where they're coming from too.
Well, I mean, as much as we want to be there and see the game and yell and be a part of that atmosphere, you don't want to crack your car up or worse, hurt yourself. But hopefully that's not an issue. I think the main roads, the state will have those fine, but it's whether or not you can get out of where you're at. But this was a different kind of deal with no snow yesterday. It was just a kind of a whole different kind of feel. So hopefully we'll see some improvements. 21 in Fayetteville right now. I'm going to only get to 31. Not a lot of thawing there. It's 22 in Harrison. Right now it's 24 in Mountain Home, 30 in Hot Springs. They'll actually get above freezing today. So we'll just see what happens. Hey, if you can't make it to the game Saturday, hopefully you can get to Joe's Grill and Cantina in Fort Smith. Joe's has everything you need, from dollar tacos to half-price apps and taps on Saturday during the game. So get by and see the crew at Joe's on Saturday. Watch the game there. Get a little cabin fever out of your system at Joe's Grill and Cantina. Dollar tacos and half-price apps and taps during the game Saturday. Joe's Grill and Cantina, 3400 South 74th Street, across from Harps.
When we come back, big news for a former Arkansas quarterback who is moving up in the coaching ranks. Going to tell you where Ryan Mallett is the next head coach in the high school ranks here in Arkansas. Eric Musselman audio coming up as well. Plus Troy Aikman on the move, it looks like. Moving on from Fox Sports, where is his next destination? You got a lot to get to here on a Recruiting Thursday. Stay with us throughout the morning.
Did you miss a segment or interview during...
Bobby Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
Now that's a dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse.
Some serious crappie.
Nice speck.
We got crappie.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
The phrase in dire straits originated in the 1400s from sailors having to carefully navigate their vessels through narrow passages to avoid a shipwreck. So Far Away from Dire Straits is a song lamenting the struggle of a long-distance relationship over the phone. Mark Knopfler said, "It's a joke. It can't really be done over a long period of time because you both get exhausted with it. Sin has put us in dire straits with God, and that's why He feels so far away." Jesus said the passage to God is a narrow way, and He promised when He far away, the Holy Spirit would be here to stay. This isn't some hunch or intuition, but a conviction navigating you to God's holy word. When you have a real relationship with God, you have the person of the Spirit living inside you, guiding your walk of life every step of the way. Don't trust your feelings. Look up John chapter 16 and see if it sends you reeling. I'm Pastor Heath from Woodland. Read about it.
Football might be over this season, but basketball is in full steam for both pros and college hoops. For all the latest odds, totals, player performance props, to where the next fired coach is going to land, BetOnline is the #1 spot for all your sports betting needs. Head over to the website or use your mobile device to sign up today and receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Use our promo code BELIEVE to get started. That's promo code BLEAV. And it's not just basketball. BetOnline is your source for hockey, boxing, and UFC odds, right to the Olympic coverage, is the best in the business. From sports right down to your favorite Vegas casino games, BetOnline is your #1 online wagering destination. BetOnline, the fastest and easiest way to wager on all your favorite sports and play your favorite games. BetOnline, where the game starts.
The Solid Rock is your source for faith-based books, music, clothing, and more. The Solid Rock, 452-4844.
This is Dylan Bryant, owner of Wild Willie's Bud Pharmacy. We're located at 2704 South Pecola Boulevard in Pecola, Oklahoma. Our hours are 8 a.m. to 11 p.m. Monday through Saturday, noon to 8 p.m. on Sundays. Check us out on Instagram and Facebook, and don't forget to check out our full menu on Weed Maps. If you have any questions, call us at 918-436-6009. Wild Willie's Bud Pharmacy, your #1 local cannabis pharmacy. Come in as a patient, leave as a friend.
Matt Miller, ESPN NFL draft analyst with us. How excited are you for Peacemaker this year?
I'm ready. I'd never spent time in Fort Smith before, but we had such a good time. Coming from a small town myself, you have it figured out down there. Great bar scene, great hospitality, and we can't wait to get back.
Well, Matt, you'll get to see Zach Bryan, Lucas Nelson, Promise of the Real, Charlie Crockett, the Steelwoods, and more July 29th through 30th. For tickets and more info, visit peacemakerfest.com.
Nobody has more pre-owned trucks than Harry Robinson's Salasol Ford. Work trucks, heavy-duty four-wheel drive trucks, single cab, extended cab, and four-wheel drive crew cab trucks. Fords, Chevys, GMCs, Dodge, Ram, and Nissans. And with historic low interest rates, no payments for 90 days, and the most for your trade, Harry Robinson's Salasol Ford is the only place to buy your next truck. Harry Robinson's Salasol Ford, 1 mile south of exit 308 off I-40 in Salasol.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Good
morning to the Morning Rush, everybody.
Note crosses Ellis over, drives left side of the lane, gets to the rim. What a reverse layup. Wow, what a move by Note.
Did you miss a segment or interview during the show? Find it in the Bud Light Next Morning Rush podcast. Just search Hit That Line wherever you listen to podcasts.
So Ryan Mallett is now a head coach in the high school ranks in the school that we used to play back when I was high school. I'm going to tell you about it in just a sec coming up. First, this morning, we are brought to you by Razorback Camper Sales. Spring camping season is almost here, and the folks at Razorback Camper Sales, they're ready for you. They have a huge selection of travel trailers, fifth wheels, and pop-ups. Razorback Camper Sales also offers full prep and setup at no extra cost, so you can leave the lot and you can start camping immediately. No wait, no hassle, just go. Plus, you'll have access to the best parts and service department in the state. Razorback Camper Sales is the oldest family-owned RV dealer in Arkansas. They've been in business for over 50 years. Come see why our customers are always happy in Hot Springs or online at RazorbackCamperSales.com. Tommy, Ryan Mallett to Whitehall. From a Bomber to a Bulldog, is that right?
I believe they're, the Whitehall Bulldogs, yeah. Yeah, this was interesting news that broke yesterday. He's got big shoes to fill. Bobby Bolding, who has had success everywhere he's been and about 25 years of head coaching, stepped down back in December to be just a full-time AD, or that was the intent, as he felt like, from what I understand of it, he couldn't be the head coach and the AD and do both jobs justice. So Bobby stepped down as the head coach, but Bobby had him in the state championship game against your favorite team, PA, last year. And so they've got a good program. Bolding's always had success from Stuttgart to Pine Bluff to Whitehall. He took all three of those programs to state championship games. Not very many coaches have done that. I think the last coach to do that was a guy you may have heard of named Gus Malzahn, who took Hughes, Shiloh Christian, and Springdale. So that gives you an idea of what Mallett's stepping into. A good foundation, good program at Whitehall. If Bolding stays as the AD, which my understanding that's the plan, he'll have a good AD and a good sounding board there with a coach that knows what he's looking at, but a good AD to kind of lean on a little bit.
So he's a Rice Bird, and he was several other things. I always found that kind of cool. Gus Malzahn's story. Dude used to mow the grass for Hughes High School as the head coach, and then now he made it all the way to the SEC's head football coach, made it to a national championship as both an offensive coordinator and a head coach. You got to earn your stripes, so to say, and I think Gus Malzahn and several others in the high school ranks have done that.
So, will Ryan have success? That's the question there. I don't know. He's never been a head coach. We've never watched him run a program. But I can tell you from talking to people in Mountain Home, they're sad this morning that he is gone. And that's a situation there where I think he, from talking to parents that had kids on the team, they enjoyed having Ryan Mallett coach their kids. So I know he was building the house near Cotter on the White River. So moving from that part of the state, which isn't home to him, but had become home to him over the last few years, will be a pretty good change of pace to go to Whitehall and be just outside of the Little Rock area. So we'll keep an eye on. We'll have a reason to watch Whitehall football and keep an eye on them moving forward with a Razorback great at the helm. And we're seeing more and more former Razorbacks get into coaching and head coaching. Bray Cook took over when Jeff Williams left at Pea Ridge. So. Bray Cook's the head coach there. There's a few others around the state, and there's several that are in. Anthony Lucas, probably most noteworthy with PA. He had been there for a long time, but took that program to a championship. So there are several former Razorbacks in the coaching ranks and now head coaching ranks in our state.
That's pretty cool to see Ryan get to this. And I think one of the things that I wonder about is if you're a high school kid and you're playing the quarterback position and now at Whitehall or Watson Chapel, Whitehall, and Dollarway all kind of in the same area, Tommy?
Yeah.
Am I thinking about that?
Right there, within a stone's throw of Pine Bluff.
Now help me out with that. Is it still district affiliated? Because I've been told here in the River Valley, can't you pick where you go to either north side or south side, or am I incorrect on that?
There's school choice in most places.
Okay.
No, you are correct. Now, you can pick where you go to school. That doesn't always control your eligibility to play, but in most cases, if you do it by the book and do it by the rules, you can go and be eligible at the other school.
So the reason I bring that up is if you're a kid in kind of that area and you want to play quarterback at the high school or maybe even the collegiate level, and you have an option, and I don't know who the Watson Chapel head coach or quarterbacks or OC is or the Pine Bluff one is, but I would think just by optics standpoint, you probably want to try and play under Ryan Mallett, right, Tommy? Is that just...
Well, I mean, there would be some intrigue there. I mean,
Yeah.
you don't know. I mean, if you're a quarterback or like a wide receiver, like you said, an offensive skill position, it might be something worth checking out. Again, how will Ryan do as a head coach? I'm sure he's asking himself that same question right now because he's got a lot more playing experience and coaching experience, and he helped take Mountain home deeper into the playoffs, and they've been consistently for a while. So. Ryan was part of the success of kind of the resurgence to a degree from where Mountain Home had been with a program that struggled to just win a handful of games to being.
They won a playoff game last year, right?
Yeah, and got to the state semifinals, I believe, the year before. So in a tough 6A West conference. So I'm sure Ryan's even asked, well, how's Ryan Mallett going to be as a head coach? So. That will be worth watching. My guess is he'll have teams that are fun to watch and quarterbacks that play better at the end of the year than they do at the beginning of the year would be my best guess.
I think we saw Kendall Briles' development with KJ Jefferson from point A, Rice, to the end of the season and how prolific he was as a quarterback, especially in the month of November when he was completing passes at a 76% clip. Now, I don't know if Ryan's going to be able to develop his guys from point A to the end of the season like Kendall was, but I would just think that's intriguing to me if you're a kid in the Pine Bluff area, and whether you're in high school now or if you're in middle school, and I don't know how long Ryan's going to be the Whitehall head football coach. I don't know what his aspirations are in high school football or if he wants to go college at some point. I just think that's a intrigue. Anytime you have a former player, especially a notable quarterback like Ryan Mallett, at the high school ranks, it's a big deal because we ask Tyler all the time if coaching was something he'd be interested in. Not to say that he's not having success in his industry because he seems to be.
He's having a lot of success.
What is he selling solar panels now? Whether it costs like $100.
That's part of what he's got multiple hats that he wears, but commercial real estate is Tyler Wilson's forte.
Yeah, he's. I don't think he's hurting for a cheeseburger or anything like that.
He works very hard at it.
Yeah, so I think that's a cool time. Anytime a former Razorback, as you said, Bray Cook, Drew Morgan doing his thing, and others.
Yeah.
Just anytime you have.
Forgot about Drew. Yeah, he's at Elkins, I believe now. So.
Former Razorbacks doing their thing at the high school ranks, giving back in a certain sense.
Yep, so it'll be fun to watch. Another former Razorback to keep an eye on come September this year. Hey, speaking of former Razorbacks, Brett Good was with us yesterday. If you missed that, you can check out the Bud Light Next Morning Rush podcast, hear that conversation. He's like the rest of us. He is all in on basketball right now, and that's a lot of fun to watch. But, hey, if you're all in on improving employee benefits at your workplace, group health, group life, dental, vision, all of those things, or you just need a better insurance package for property and casualty insurance, he can help you with all of those things. Even if you're listening this morning, hey, I don't run or own a company, but I need a better deal on my homeowners and my car insurance. He can help you with that too. 651-2292, all kinds of insurance, but the specialty is employee benefits with Brett Good with Henderson Phillips. 479-651-2292. 651-2292, Brett Good with Henderson Phillips.
When we come back, some headlines, some Eric Musselman talk from yesterday, and the Kentucky player you hate the most.
Listen to every Razorback basketball game right here. HitThatLine.com.
Day 209 on the island. There is still no rescue in sight. I long for the simple comforts of home. The leather seats, the spacious interior, the 12.3-inch touchscreen display, and of course, the panoramic moonroof. If I could only gaze through it one more time.
Jerry!
What?
Stop talking about your Highlander and help me with the raft!
Frank seems more agitated than normal lately. Could it possibly be because he too misses my Toyota Highlander?
No, Jerry, it's not because I miss your Highlander. And stop acting like I can't hear you!
Yes, that must be it. Comparing his sad raft to my sleek-looking Highlander has finally broken him.
Just stop.
Experience the unforgettable 2022 Toyota Highlander for yourself. Visit your local dealer or go to Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places. See packages and options at Toyota.com for feature availability.
This is Bruce Stanton, Vice President and General Manager of Pradco Fishing in Fort Smith. Our #1 volume lure out of our 20 fishing brands is the Bobby Garland Baby Shad. We make them by the millions in our facility in Fort Smith, and the Baby Shad is without a doubt the #1 soft plastic crappie lure in the U.S. Fish it on a light jig head or underneath a float, and you'll find it's as productive as live bait. Available at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Academy, LureNet.com, and tackle stores all over the place. The Bobby Garland Baby Shad.
Did you know that sometimes roof damage goes unnoticed? Have you seen a few houses in your neighborhood get new roofs in the past couple of years? It could be that your roof has damage. Brothers Roofing and Restoration is a properly licensed and insured local roofing contractor in Arkansas. Brother Alexander has over 25 years of experience in home insurance adjusting and residential roofing. Let Brother come do a free inspection of your roof. He'll give you a complete analysis of your roof and work with your insurance company if it needs to be replaced. So call 479-353-3877 to arrange a time for Brother to inspect your roof.
Riley Farm Dental at the entrance to Riley Farms provides every type of dental care and procedures for you and your family. From general dentistry, braces, implants, and cosmetics, Dr. Bo Sparkman and Dr. Brogan give all of their patients better lives with a better smile, more confidence, and a comfortable experience every time. Riley Farm Dental, 5901 Riley Park Drive, Suite A, at the entrance to Riley Farms. Call 226-3500 for an appointment or visit RileyFarmDental.com.
Hi folks, matchmaker Larry Rath here with a sweetheart of a deal from Rath Auto Resources. I'm on a mission to help you find the nicer, newer car of your dreams. So if the thrill is gone with your old ride, come see the best selection of Rath Road Ready vehicles we've had in over 2 years. Each one hand-picked and reconditioned in our Meineke Car Care Center. Just find the one you love the best and let our friendly, non-commissioned solution specialists do the rest. With discounts up to $4,100 below retail and the highest trade-in values ever, you'll be head over heels for the deals too. Going to make it work with the car you have? Let us give it the attention it deserves in our Meineke Car Care Center with a free winter-ready inspection, half-off brakes, and buy 3 get 1 free on all tires. But hurry, this deal will be over quicker than your first crush. Start driving better today in a nicer, newer car you love from Arkansas's favorite used car dealer, Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, 4515 Towson Avenue, Fort Smith, or online, rathauto.com.
Michelob Ultra Organic Seltzer opens like every other seltzer, pours like every other seltzer, but it's not like every other seltzer. USDA certified organic, no added sugar, and low cal, so you've never seen another seltzer quite like it. And with new refreshing flavors like black cherry and watermelon strawberry, you've never tasted one like it either. Michelob Ultra Organic Seltzer, as real as it tastes. Enjoy responsibly, not a low-calorie food. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Organic Seltzer, IRC Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Have your travel plans changed? Looking for a place that's close to home and keep your family safe? Gaston's White River Resort is located on the beautiful White River. They offer private accommodations in their lodges and cabins. Most cabins have a fully equipped kitchen or let their restaurant staff deliver to your cabin. Call 870-431-5202 and change your plans to Gaston's White River Resort. Gaston's White River Resort, a first-class time every time.
Doe's Eat Place, serving award-winning steaks, has now added lobster tail and salmon to the menu. You can also enjoy delicious appetizers along with your choice of drinks from the largest selection of wines, beer, and liquor in the River Valley. Doe's Eat Place is open Tuesday through Thursday 5 till 9 and Friday and Saturday 5 till 10. Reservations are recommended. Call 784-9111. That's 784-9111. Doe's Eat Place, 422 North 3rd Street, Fort Smith.
Live here at Randall Ford, 5500 Rogers Avenue in Fort Smith. Billy, you guys have roughly about 200 pre-owned vehicles on the lot. With every single one of your pre-owns, it's a 150-point safety inspection.
And if they don't pass inspection, they don't get out on our used lot. So they're top-notch, some of the nicest cars in the area.
Come by and see us again, Randall Ford, 5500 Rogers Avenue in Fort Smith. You can always check us out online at randallford.com.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3. The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson and Tommy Kraft.
Jalen in the corner. Amude, Stanley open, and he knocks down the three. 14 for Amude. That's his second three. Hogs within 7.
All your favorite podcasts in one place. The Hit That Line Podcast Network. Brought to you by Breeden RV Center. Just search Hit That Line wherever you listen to podcasts.
Caught up with Eric Musselman yesterday. Going to share some of his thoughts with you all this morning in just a deck. Also, RDOT, I want to share something that they're doing with the roads on the way to Budwalder Arena, plus some other headlines. And the Kentucky player, coach, or fan that you despise the most, all that is coming up, Tommy.
Yeah, I was looking at road conditions right now, and, really if you drew a line basically halfway across the state, say from Little Rock, you just do a straight line, which would take you over to about Mena or somewhere. Everything north of there has got problems with the roads. Everything south of there, Hot Springs area, roads look to be fine. Everything in South Arkansas, Arkadelphia, Pine Bluff, we were talking about Whitehall a minute ago, all of that good. But I-49 and the northwest corner of the state over to Mountain Home, it's ice or ice patches this morning. But makes me think about this weekend's racing at Oaklawn. Probably going to be good roads to get there. As you move further south, the roads appear to be less impacted. This weekend's the $1 million Rebel Stakes at Oaklawn, so you don't want to miss that. The $300,000 Honeybee Stakes is this weekend. Weather permitting, they're going to have the infield open. They've revamped that with a whole lot of new features in the infield, so you don't want to miss the new infield park. If you can't get there this weekend, download the Oaklawn Anywhere app. You can get a $150 sign-up bonus when you use the promo code RUSH22. That's Rush22. There'll be live racing all the way through the first weekend of May, but live racing this weekend for the Rebel Stakes. You can get that Oaklawn Anywhere app. You can use it when you're at the races. It makes things so much easier. Plus, you get a lot of extra stuff, including handicapping and wagering advice right there on the phone as well. Promo code RUSH22, the Oaklawn Anywhere app. Get ready for the Rebel Stakes this weekend at Oaklawn.
You got torched by Colin Castleton on Tuesday night, but Arkansas won the game, so it didn't matter. His antics, his chauvinistic tendencies, they probably annoyed you a little bit. And there are certain Kentucky players that have had those characteristics over the years, but I'll say this. This guy that you're playing on Saturday, you're not going to like him. I don't think he's going to be over the top, but Muss was talking about Oscar Tshiebwe and what Arkansas is going to have to do against him on Saturday.
We'll talk to our team tomorrow when we get back on the practice floor about, that this is not a one positional matchup. Just like when we played Auburn, it wasn't just Trey Wade's responsibility to guard, Jabari Smith, it's our whole team. And so, last night, against Florida, Castleton's a really good player, and we elected to play him a little bit more one-on-one and not give up three balls.
Tommy, I think Arkansas fans are going to hate Oscar Tshiebwe simply by the fact that he's, I think, going to have a good game on Saturday. But I don't necessarily put him in the same category as some of these other players, fans, and coaches. And I know that our listeners have a much better, deeper understanding of this rivalry because I do because of my age. But I went back and looked at some of the Kentucky players, coaches, and for one fan in particular that kind of stands out on this list. Is there someone in your mind that you thought, I don't know if Kentucky reaches the same level of hatred certain Duke players have, but is there someone that you're just like, man, I hated watching that guy, or I hated that guy and how he acted towards Arkansas?
Well, first of all, Kentucky is to basketball what Texas is to football. And Texas has been in that category in basketball in years gone by, but I think when Arkansas entered the SEC 30 years ago, you began instantly to hate Kentucky because they were games of consequence and they were a brand name, much like Texas. So I think, my generation and on down, you still hate Texas, but Kentucky's the team you hate the most in basketball. And one of the guys, there's two names that come to mind for me when I was teenager, high school, early 20, right in the 90s. That's Jamal Mashburn and Tony Delk. They're two of the all-time greats for Kentucky, but Tony Delk was a killer. Great guard for them in the early to mid-90s, and led them to a championship and one of their better teams. He was a great shooter as a guard and All-American for him. So Tony Delk's a guy that just seemed to be a killer for it. I did not like Tony Delk or Jamal Mashburn. I
had those two names listed down, and I've watched highlights and I've watched them play. Those two always seem to have an impact against Arkansas. One of the cool, if I remember this correctly, when Arkansas initially entered the SEC, I want to say they won the first 3 regular season games. I think that's right. I got to go back and double check on that. But Arkansas had success in regular season, not as much in the SEC tournament. We think about that. Was it the 95 SEC championship that was legendary in Atlanta? Is that the game that went to overtime that Corliss fouled out? I think that's right.
I think that's right. Let me Google that here so I'm sitting here in front of the computer. But I believe that's exactly right. And then Arkansas goes back to the national title game, and I believe 96 is when Kentucky played Syracuse, I believe, and won the national title against them the next year. So you had a pretty good run there where it was Arkansas, then UCLA playing against Arkansas, and then Kentucky. So 2 of 3 years, Arkansas or Kentucky won the national title.
And I referenced this yesterday with you kind of joking about Calipari has to be an Italian name. Jim and I really don't want to make sure. It's Jim Bropkin, right?
Yes.
Okay, Jim
the
Bropkin.
former band leader.
Yes, correct. He used to instruct his guys and gals to play the Godfather music when Pitino would walk in to both Barnhill and Bud Walton Arena, and apparently Pitino didn't like that very much. I think that would be funny. It's probably not PC today, but I think that would be fun if they did that when Cal walked in the building. I know there was not any love lost for Rick Pitino, and I'll say this. He had a lot of respect for Arkansas and had a lot of respect for Bud Walton Arena. You see that phrase...
95, it was 95-93 Kentucky in overtime over Arkansas.
Okay.
Both were division champions. Both were 1 seeds. We remember the game. We were just trying to confirm the year, and it was 95.
Yeah. So Pitino's up there on the list. We got a text in from J.B. Jones jokingly saying, and I had this one down, did people hate John Pelphrey prior to, because Pelphrey was pre-SEC, correct? He didn't.
He was part of the Unforgettables and part of that group that they'd been through probation and He came back, kind of restored order for He was part of that Unforgettables group. So I don't think Obviously, he was there when Leitner hit the shot. He's in the photo right there, but he was part of that group that could have done other things, but came back, and that's why they're considered Kentucky legends there because of their loyalty to the program.
I was watching some old Arkansas-Kentucky games yesterday, and I had forgotten that Tayshaun Prince was a Kentucky Wildcat. Now, he was a guy on the Detroit Pistons that I really enjoyed watching. Those Piston teams with Chauncey Billups, Rasheed Wallace, Ben Wallace, and Richard Rip Hamilton, but I was watching him as a Kentucky player, and him and Joe Johnson, I think in 2001, were Arkansas. I think Kentucky was either 15th or 6th in the country, if I remember that right, and Arkansas defeated him. But Tayshaun Prince is a guy that was an outstanding collegiate basketball player, and I think some Arkansas fans didn't necessarily have the highest regard for him as well.
Yeah, so, Kentucky's been your arch nemesis. The thing about Kentucky, they've had down years where, like Alabama in football, they never, an off year for them is being the 4th seed in the college football playoff. Maybe being the 2 seed in the West and still finding their way into the national title game somehow. That's the off year for Alabama. Kentucky does have years where they end up in the NIT and get beat. They do. When they have a bad year, they have a bad year. But there's a lot more good years at Kentucky than bad years. But they have dominated this league. Similar, but I don't think the same as what Alabama's done in football. They've been about that dominant in basketball, and I think it's good for the league to see Auburn on the rise. It gives you hope as Arkansas because Arkansas is in that conversation. Tennessee's been better. It's been about coaching, and Cal for a long time was by far and away the best recruiter and the best coach in this conference, and that's one reason why in the two since he arrived and then for the first 5 or 6 years he just didn't seem to have much competition in this league.
It's evened out in this league so much since a number of different coaches gotten here. Now, here's some other names, and I know that Arkansas fans would probably agree and disagree partly to some of this. With Malik Monk going to Kentucky and then also Archie Goodwin, I didn't feel – you tell me this. I wasn't in sports radio at the time. We actually almost played Archie the second round of the high school basketball tournament at Greene County Tech. We got our brakes beat off by Morrilton the game before. This kid hit like 7 threes when he played us, and we didn't get to play Sylvan Hills. But I didn't feel that there was as much anger that Archie left the state for Kentucky because that you were talking about Kentucky being down. That Archie Kentucky team, Tommy, lost to Robert Morris on the road in the NIT. And on the other note with Malik, I just felt like because Marcus played here and because just everything that went down in that whole situation, that fans were more ticked off that he didn't end up a Razorback, which is it's both of those young men's decision, but I just felt like there was more irritation that Malik did not end up a Razorback rather than Archie Goodwin.
Do you remember the circumstances of them playing on the road at Robert Morris in the NIT?
The circumstances. So Kentucky.
Why that happened? Because obviously Kentucky would have been the higher seed, but Kentucky, as I remember it, they booked Rupp Arena for like a concert or some kind of event
That's
they
right.
couldn't get out of. so they had to travel and go and play Robert Morris on the road in the NIT, which because they never planned to be in the NIT. You know, they plan around Final Fours at Kentucky and just had a terrible year and end up going on the road and losing. I mean, that's their Citadel moment at Kentucky, at least for modern day fans.
Yeah, that was quite enjoyable. I remember watching that.
We relished in that.
It was beautiful watching my friend Denver's house back in
Hope
Little
it
Rock.
happens again.
Yeah, me too. Some of the more recent guys that you think about, the Harrison twins, the iconic picture of Bobby Portis's buddy Big Rod and Aaron Harrison about to square up. See, Aaron or Andrew, I think it was Aaron. Willie Cauley-Stein, who actually dated a Razorback, a women's basketball player, I think, some point. I remember seeing him at the Hill Place apartment complexes in Fayetteville. DeMarcus Cousins. Tommy, I didn't really mind Tubby Smith. In fact, I kind of like Tubby Smith. What's your opinion on? And I don't even he's not coaching, is he? Is he retired, or is he still coaching somewhere?
As far as I know, he's retired. But I mean, been at Minnesota, been obviously Memphis,
Texas
Kentucky.
Tech.
Texas Tech. That'd been his best stop. But I didn't. Tubby Smith was someone I think Nolan was a big proponent of him there. So Tubby Smith never seemed to agitate you, never grind on you like sandpaper like Patino and Calipari do.
Not the same way. Ashley Judd, though, seems to grind on people's gears a little bit.
Well, never mind. I'll leave that comment alone.
Yeah, I think some of our fans would like if she grinded somewhere. But no, here's the thing about Judd. I think it was just I think it was at the NCAA tournament or the SEC tournament that they kept panning to her every 5 minutes, and every obnoxious thing that she did was put on display, and there were several fans that were getting after her a little bit. That would be she would be someone I would think high on a lot of Razorback fans' list, Tommy.
Well, I mean, she's famous in the day. I hadn't seen her in a while. I don't know if she's been in a movie lately, but she was gorgeous in her prime there. And why wouldn't you put her on TV more? I mean, she draws a reaction, both favorably and negatively. But she is the fan, the celebrity fan you love to hate for that very reason. But, Arkansas's got a few celebrity fans, but none of them that are out there at games, sitting on the front row, painting your face, doing the things she did. So in some ways you wish you had a true celebrity fan like that was as on the front row for all the big events.
Has Cal eclipsed Patino in Razorback fans hate, or will Patino always be at the top of that list? That's the kind of final thought I want to get to on this before we move on. I mean, you've seen both guys.
Good question.
Has he passed that point? He's been there since. Was he been there since 2009? Is that when did he leave Memphis, Drew? 2008? 2009?
At the end of the 2009 season.
Okay, so he's been there for over 10 years.
Yeah.
Has he passed Patino?
I think in most fans' minds today he has, and you've seen Patino have, all his struggles off the court that I think if you're a Patino hater, you probably relished in some of that. But I think both had success against Arkansas. Arkansas had more success against Patino consistently because it was in the heyday in the 90s. I think the games meant more when Patino was there, but it was because Arkansas was better and because Arkansas was new and Kentucky didn't know what to think about this new program coming in and taking up a bunch of seats at the SEC tournament. How dare you, was kind of their thought. I'll never forget being with Ruskin in Nashville, I don't know, 10 years ago or whatever it was, that we were over there. I think one of the first years Nashville hosted the SEC tournament, and these Kentucky fans came in for a game that Kentucky wasn't even playing in, and kicked a kid out of a handicap seat because that's where their tickets were. I mean, that's the kind of people they are. They're just awful, terrible people, and they did not know how to respond and react when this fan base that was as good as theirs came into this league. So it was a lot of fun early on. It's obviously had its dip because Arkansas hadn't held up their end of the bargain. You're hoping that this coaching rivalry you have between Nolan and Patino can kind of be restored between Muss and Calipari. That's what we need, is two larger-than-life figures coaching these teams.
Yeah, I want to share some more information about this game Saturday coming up. That is going to be of concern to you that want to make it up to Bud Walton Arena, especially with the weather coming up as we get into our headlines in just a bit.
All right, let me tell you about Burton Pools and Spas. I know you can't look outside right now and even think about a pool or even envision a backyard oasis right now, but it won't be long before the warmer weather will be back, and Burton Pools and Spas can help design right now that backyard of your dreams. In-ground pools get a $5,000 discount, up to $5,000 off. That makes payments as low as $290 a month right now. So if your wife and your kids have forever said, hey, let's do a pool in the backyard, get the in-ground pool you've always wanted, and build your own little paradise in your backyard with the trusted sales and service team at Burton Pools and Spas. They're in Springdale, just off I-49 at the 412 exit, and in Fort Smith on 0 Street. And start now and have that pool this summer. But you want to get on the list and get that design work begun right now. Tell you what, tell them you heard about it here on the Morning Rush. They'll upgrade your pool for free to a saltwater pool. That's a nearly $2,000 value. They'll throw it in for free just because you listen to the Morning Rush. It's all at Burton Pools and Spas, Springdale and in Fort Smith, and always online at burtonpools.com.
I thought this was pretty cool from RDOT yesterday. Tommy, explain to our audience in layman's terms what RDOT is.
It's the Arkansas Department of Transportation, but they build the roads, supervise the roads, all of these things that as the state agency. But what we know them for this time of the year is they clear the roads and take care of the roads and make sure we can get to where we need to get going. So the 4 salt trucks and the 3 plows we got in this state, that's who runs them, is the Arkansas Department of Transportation, or better known, as you said, RDOT.
So they put this out yesterday that all major routes leading to Northwest Arkansas have been pre-treated ahead of the incoming winter weather. Should you need a chance to travel to Basketball Palace in Mid-America this weekend for Razorback and Kentucky, RDOT has you covered. I thought that was a cool thing that they put out yesterday. Now, I don't know. I would think that's going to help. I don't know how much it's going to help, but that's definitely going to help, right?
They've been pre-treating roads. Hopefully we don't get another tough round of freezing rain and winter weather that's in the forecast. I'm looking at the iDrive Arkansas map right now, and purple is the color for ice. You look at and the kind of the reddish pink is the ice patches from Alma up to about the tunnel to the Crawford County line, which is basically where the Hopper Tunnel is. It's ice patches from the tunnel north all the way north of Springdale. It's ice. So 59 on the western side of the state line, going through Siloam, ice. Ozark 23. You get to about where the Crawford County line, all those areas, it's ice. Now hopefully by Saturday the fans can get there to the game and we get some sunshine down on this stuff. But the major thoroughfares, I think, will be open. The question is, can you get safely from where you're at to I-49 or to a state highway? It's always a good time of the year when the weather's like this to stay on them state roads.
Mm-hmm. And be safe wherever you're driving. If you are out driving for work today, make sure you're being as cautious as possible. Troy Aikman, Tommy, looks like he's leaving Fox Sports for ESPN's Monday Night Football. Now, there was rumors circulating that he might wind up with Al Michaels on Amazon for Thursday Night Football. I honestly hadn't seen anything about this. Andrew Marchand of the New York Post put this out yesterday. It looks like it's all but done. What do you think about this move, and what do you think the impact of Monday Night Football, which has not been the same since John Madden left?
Well, I'm going to go back to what we talked about Amazon, because that's where I thought him and Al Michaels were going together, and that would be a dynamic crew that would get you to watch it. And Amazon's got, all the money in the world. They could pay those guys whatever they want. And Al Michaels is 77 and still as good today as he was when he was 47. So, and he wants to work with Troy Aikman. Is kind of the trade rumor out there right now. Troy's been at Fox for a long time, and I thought him and Buck were a great crew. Question is what becomes of the booth at Monday Night Football if this is how it happens. But I think he is as good an analyst as there's been in a while. They're all very good. Romo, they all have their own style. I think what you've got going on, Romo kind of broke the ceiling on the money, and now everybody feels like they need to move in order to get Romo type of money, which is player money, $15 to $20 million a year. That's what they're getting to broadcast games. That's like having a playing career again. That's the kind of salaries these top-shelf analysts are driving right now. So this is all about trying to negotiate a new deal. I hate to see those crews break up because I think they got a lot of synergy, but I was really hoping to see him and Al Michaels work together. I think that would have been dynamic.
Want to update you on some SEC scores from last night. South Carolina beats Mississippi State at home. Auburn beats Ole Miss at home. But the game that everyone was watching, I thought, was LSU and Kentucky. LSU, I think Tommy had a 10-point lead going into the second half, and then Kentucky just came back, won 71-66. Maybe this could help Arkansas, that Kentucky's not coming off a loss, because 2 years ago they lost to South Carolina on a buzzer beater, and they were locked in heading into Bud Walton Arena.
Well, I mean, do you really want Kentucky coming in Saturday off a loss? I don't think any of us really want their focus sharpened anymore. So from an LSU standpoint, I mean, it's hard to root for Will Wade and those guys, but that's kind of where you were thinking now. You look at league standings, that was a big game for Kentucky. They're trying to hold serve with Auburn. The top teams win last night. Should set up for an interesting weekend with Tennessee and Auburn playing, Arkansas and Kentucky playing. Two huge, not just huge games in the league, Ty, but two of the biggest games in college basketball around the country this weekend are in the SEC.
Yeah, it's going to be exciting to watch the Razorbacks and the Wildcats this weekend, and again, some other games that are going on as well, like Tommy's talking about. Now, we don't talk a ton of MLB on the show. I would assume this is more of a halftime conversation. But I saw Jeff Passan, ESPN baseball reporter, put this out that it doesn't look like the regular season is going to happen on time. I think a lot of people assume this, but is that a big deal to you, Tommy, that the regular season is going to get shortened from MLB? Do you have a thought? I know a lot of our listeners probably do, but this doesn't affect my life whatsoever. Does it affect yours?
No, and, I know Drew, and, you can jump in here. There's the hardcore fans that are upset about this, but I don't hear any of my friends, any of my buddies really talking casually about that. The work stoppage, and is this going to get resolved, and all of these things that should be a conversation around the sports landscape. I don't hear the conversation coming up on many talk shows right now, other than some of the national shows will do a segment here and there. Guys, I think that's the bigger issue baseball better realize is the masses don't really care about it right now. And their sport is, I think, waiting for popularity and for fans. This is a big moment, I think, and maybe I'm overstating it, but Drew, it feels like this is a big moment for baseball to not lop off another big chunk of what fan base is left.
It is a big moment for Major League Baseball, and they've just got to be able to figure out and be able to come together, because with each passing day, with each game that will be lost off this schedule, there's going to be that fringe fan, that fan that likes to go to a few games in big markets, that fan that maybe not watches every day, but keeps up with the standings. They're going to lose him every time a game
that's
is.
Me. You just described me.
Exactly. I mean, there's two types of baseball fans. There's you, a fringe guy, and then there's me and Phil, who live and die for this stuff, who will not only check box scores, but check standings. I mean, from day one, we'll watch every single game that's on, every pitch, every at-bat. And unfortunately, and I've heard other diehard baseball fans say that, eventually they're going to do something that will lose me. Unfortunately for me, I will come back time and time again. Unfortunately for baseball, there are more Tommies out there than there are Drews.
Right.
So
it's
going to be bad.
I was a huge Major League Baseball fan as a kid, watching the Braves on TBS when they were terrible. And I'm telling you, Arkansas baseball and college baseball has consumed my baseball budget of fandom, and I'm not near the Major League fan I once was, and Razorback baseball is the reason for that. So we'll keep an eye on their work stoppage. They better figure it out, because they lose a lot of games, they're going to lose more fans. Brought to you by World of Wireless. 877-305-DISH is the number to call. Wow, now. If your streaming services and all those plans you're on have gotten to be over $100 a month, why not come back to Dish, get all your favorite channels, a whole home DVR, a $100 sign-on bonus, voice-activated remotes, and more, and it'd be less than $90 a month. That's what WOW can do for you right now. Call them even on this snow-covered or ice-covered day at World of Wireless. 877-305-DISH. That's 877-305-3474 for World of Wireless.
Hour 2 on the way. More Eric Musselman talk, plus Tom Murphy joins us at 7:20.
Make your backyard dreams a reality this summer with an in-ground pool from Burton Pools and Spas. Save $5,000 this month on select in-ground pools. And with payments starting at $290 a month, your own backyard oasis is not out of reach. Be one of the first 7 families to call and receive a free upgrade to a saltwater system, a nearly $2,000 value. Save $5,000 and get a free upgrade at Burton Pools and Spas in Springdale and in Fort Smith, and online at burtonpools.com.
At Clay Maxey Auto Group, making the relationship has been what we've always been about. Can't control the market, but we can control who we are and how we act every day. And we're just going to be really good at being us. It's always been more than just selling the cars or servicing them. It's a people business. We're here to take care of the customer. To me, it's important that it's about the relationship, not the transaction. Come visit us today at Clay Maxey Auto Group.
The temperatures may be cooling down, but at Wheels RV in Northwest Arkansas, the deals are still red hot. Whether you are enjoying one of over 50 state parks or tailgating with your favorite team, Wheels has the right RV to help you enjoy fall in the natural state. And at Wheels RV, every new unit comes with a lifetime warranty. So get out to Wheels and see why they were voted best RV dealership in Northwest Arkansas. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
Sports fans, sick of the Omicron and the coronavirus? Fed up? You've got the coronavirus blues, but baby, we have the cure. Wash your hands, sign up, and play with BUSR.com. At BUSR.com, you get everything: a casino, racebook, and sportsbook. Play blackjack, roulette, and over 200 casino games. Bet on sports, horses. Want more? How about a 100% deposit bonus exclusively for ESPN Arkansas listeners? Just go to BUSR.com/Morning Rush. That's BUSR.com/Morning Rush. BUSR, the cure for your coronavirus blues.
For a limited time, Art's Barbecue and Burgers is serving up some great combo platters with all your favorite choices from Art's. Ribs and brisket, catfish and brisket, pulled pork and brisket, plus catfish and ribs. And you can add a hot link, sausage, or 2 tamales to any of the combo platters. Make your combo plate any way you want it to be. And don't forget, every Friday night is all you can eat catfish at Art's. Art's Barbecue and Burgers, Rogers Avenue next to Buddy's in Fort Smith. Real smoked barbecue.
Hey, Ty Richardson for Cut Above Lawn and Landscaping. Does your yard need to be serviced in the fall and winter months? Of course. A Cut Above is with you every step of the way. Whether it's commercial or residential, a Cut Above can handle all your needs. Tree service, stump grinding, brush hog, full landscaping, leaf removal, post-it pre-emergent, power washing, and any other yard chore you can think of.
Call or text today at 479-719-5605. More than just a mowing service, they're a Cut Above.
719-5605.
State sales tax paid on every pre-owned vehicle on the lot now through the end of the month at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. You heard right. State sales tax paid on pre-owned vehicles at Harry Robinson. You'll save hundreds, even thousands with sales tax paid. This sale does not apply to previously negotiated deals. Don't miss your chance to get your state sales tax paid now through the end of the month on every pre-owned vehicle on the lot. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 at Fort Smith.
Have you walked out into your garage or your driveway and noticed that leak coming from underneath your vehicle? Well, maybe it's time you see the professionals at CSI Radiator Repair. From commercial and industrial to cars, trucks, SUVs, motorhomes, and farm equipment. If it has a radiator, CSI can flush and fill it today. Or if it's leaking, they can fix that too. Aluminum TIG welding is also available, so stop by CSI Radiator at 3204 Wheeler Avenue in Fort Smith or give them a call at 434-6034. CSI Radiator, a great place to take a leak.
Did you invest in real estate only to find out that real estate takes up too much of your time? If you answered yes, then it's time to make a call to the experts. With more than 30 years of combined property management experience and more than 16,000 units managed, Trinity Multifamily are the ones to call. Get your life back. Call Trinity Multifamily at 479-452-1817 or online at trinitymultifamily.com. Trinity Multifamily, your teammate in the real estate game.
Call World of Wireless if you've recently lost your internet service in the Paris-Subiaco area. World of Wireless, a local internet provider providing service since 2015 to rural Arkansas. We cover areas east of Fort Smith, south of Fort Smith, and rural areas with high-speed internet with plans starting at $49.95 a month. But you got to call us, World of Wireless, 478-6616. It's 478-6616. If you've recently lost service from your internet provider in and around Subiaco and Paris, call us, 478-6616, or go to wowfastinternet.com.
Harry Robinson Salisal Ford wants to buy or trade for your vehicle today, and they will give you top dollar. Pre-owned car values are at historic all-time highs, and your car today is worth more than it ever will be again. If you are driving a 2013 model or newer with 120,000 miles or less, bring it to Harry Robinson Salisal Ford, and they'll give you more than any other dealer. Even if you don't want to buy a new car, they'll still buy yours. Harry Robinson Salisal Ford, 1 mile south of exit 308 off I-40 in Salisal.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, dangerous driving is expected as we may see an additional 1/4 to 3/4 of an inch of ice and some sleet accumulation possible. So the roads are really going to be very treacherous. Low to mid-30s today. We will dry out tonight with clouds, overnight lows in the teens. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by Come Get You Some, Arkansas's premier off-road superstore. Call 782-MUD today. You're listening to The Morning Rush, live from the Bushlight Studios on ESPN 95.3, KERX Paris, Fort Smith. This hour of The Morning Rush is brought to you by Bud Light Next, with 0 carbs and only 80 calories. It's brewed for what's next.
And you guys play cards? Anybody play spades? You do, right, Devo? A little bit. Okay, so you do play cards, right? You know what we got? You know what I got? Right here. What is this? What happens, Devo, when you got this card? Game over, right? Do you know what that is? Defense, rebounding, and toughness. That's what we got.
Hey, this is Darren McFadden, and you're listening to The Morning Rush.
Live from the Bushlight Studios.
People who really want to have a good time won't come to a slaughterhouse. And we've got entirely too many troublemakers here.
On your favorite Arkansas sports talk station.
I don't like you because you're dangerous. That's right. I am dangerous.
Streaming live from
HitThatLine.com.
I
hit the 7-iron like John Daly hits the 3.
This is The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson.
You just got to keep living, man.
And Tommy Kraft.
We follow orders or people die. Are we clear?
The Morning Rush starts right now.
It is hour number 2 of the Morning Rush here on a Recruiting Thursday. Tom Murphy going to join us in about 20 minutes. Richard Davenport set to join us in about an hour. Now, you heard the voice of Eric Musselman pre-Florida in the locker room talking about the ace of spades, how it's been that defense. When you think defense, one of the teams, football, basketball, baseball, you think of is the 1985 Chicago Bears. We're going to talk about what Muss compared it to, and it was kind of a comparison the players didn't necessarily get coming up in just a sec, Tommy.
Hey, we're going to have live coverage before and after the Arkansas-Kentucky game, flying from the stadium shop near Baum-Walker Stadium on Razorback this weekend. So if you need to get anything ready for the Stripe Out, they've got it. Our coverage is also brought to you this weekend by Reed's Metals in Benton and by Williams Tractor. They have moved after nearly 50 years. Williams Tractor in Fayetteville has moved to their new location. They've even changed their name to WT Equipment and relocated to Springdale. WT Equipment will be located on the east side of I-49 between Don Tyson and the Johnson exits. So stop by WT Equipment, see all the inventory that's there, and check out more. More exciting news to come. It's Williams Tractor, now WT Equipment in Springdale. Visit them online at WTEquip.com.
I'd love to say it's some magic formula. I mean, last night I told the guys that we got to, get back to defending like the 1985 Chicago Bears because they were so good defensively. And I think the whole team looked at me like, what am I talking about? Not knowing. So sometimes you say some stuff and they're like, what is this guy talking about? I have no clue but I do think that, losing taught us a lot. It really did. And we made a U-turn on January 9th and decided that in order to win, you had to go earn the game.
I think coaching today when making comparisons, Tommy, is difficult. Now, one of the things that I love to do when I was doing the show with Phil is our halftime homework set. I would say I have a decent base knowledge of a wide variety of sports from like the 60s on. Now, I can't go into specifics on certain things, but I've watched a lot of documentaries, a lot of movies, a lot of games in recent past. So I can at least, a lot of times, that player, that college, that coach, whatever. But I'm not as in-depth in the pop culture stuff. But when you hear Muss talk about, they don't even know who the 1985 Bears are, I would just think we're talking about Ryan Mallett.
Super Bowl shuffle, baby.
Yeah, we were talking about Ryan
Jim
Mallett
McMahon,
becoming the next high school head coach for Whitehall. Some of the comparisons that even he would make, I think at his age, which doesn't seem that long ago, 2010, he was a starting quarterback at Arkansas. Yeah. Some of his guys, I'm like, Coach, I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah. Well, I think about Dylan, my son, who's 12. I mean, I'd have to tell him who Tyler Wilson and Ryan Mallett are. I mean, he wouldn't. I mean, he was in just a year old, 2 years old. He wouldn't remember that. So he would. So you have to kind of put it in perspective with the generation. So yeah, I mean these guys on this team wouldn't know about the 85 Chicago Bears. But if you just Google best defense of all times, regardless of sport, that's going to be one that comes up. And this is a coach that values defense, and we've seen, I think, kind of a move or a shift to that in a game that right now from the top, and it's leadership is trying to figure out how to get more points on the board. At least this year, Ty, it feels like Arkansas is one of several teams that are at least talking about and emphasizing defense, and I think we're seeing scoring kind of indicate that at least in the SEC where we pay attention the most. More games seem to be in the 50s or 60s or low 70s than the 70s and 80s this year.
Yeah, it's changed a little bit with Arkansas because they were outscoring teams last year. Not that they weren't playing good defense, because I think you had several good defenders like a Justin Smith, like a Jalen Tate, Moses Moody with his 7-foot wingspan, but this year's team is locked in. They are top 15 nationally in defensive efficiency, and we'll see that on display on Saturday. Now, I do wonder about this game in a variety of different things, and I try to look at it. We're going to have on Kyle Tucker, who covers Kentucky basketball for the Athletics, for the Athletic tomorrow, and we were talking about hopefully the roads will be okay. RDOT was trying to I don't know if they salted him or do whatever, but
trying got some kind of mix that they spray down on the road that I'm sure it's loaded with sodium to keep the winter stuff from sticking so bad.
Yeah, and this is going to be a fun matchup. And you mentioned the Cal and Muss rivalry you're hoping. You don't know. It probably won't ever reach the Nolan Patino, but there is some flair between these two. There's some flamboyancy. I think there's a respect for one another. Cal had some really good things to say about Muss. Muss has had some good things to say about Cal. I don't know if Nolan and Patino actually ever liked each other. They just like competing against each other. But you've got two coaches that are not, now obviously Cal's more nationally recognized than Muss, but I mean, Muss is about as when it comes to Arkansas, man, he gets Arkansas that Razorback about as countrywide as it gets when it comes to coaches up there on the hill, Tommy.
You know, rivalries are born over time, either through geography and or games of consequence. And Arkansas, I mean, it's much like the Alabama-LSU rivalry in football. They were playing games of consequence. You know, 15 or 20 years ago, that wasn't a huge game. In the 90s, for, you know, that the league just pivoted and centered around on football scheduling. Arkansas-Kentucky was a rivalry in the 90s because the games mattered, and they mattered a lot, and championships were on the line. And for Arkansas to have, you know, that rivalry between those two coaches, they need to play in the regular season. I'm like you. I wish they'd play twice every year. They don't. And they need to play in conference championship, in tournament championship games against each other. Those are the things we remember most and the games that matter the most. So Arkansas and Kentucky hopefully will be in some situations, maybe this year in Tampa, where you end up playing each other in a game that matters for a whole lot.
And one of the guys, in order for you to beat the Wildcats, not just this Saturday, but if you match up with them once again, is J.D. Note. He has to have a really solid game. He did it on the road against Florida. He did it against the number one team in the country, Auburn. And I listened to the story that Marty Smith and Carl Ravitch and Jimmy Dykes shared with on the game broadcast Tuesday. I've heard this before, but I want to go back to what Eric Musselman said on his recruiting visit with J.D. Note back in Fayetteville.
The finances of all the recruiting visits we had. And guess who the cheapest recruiting visit, or the visit that cost the least amount financially? J.D. Note. You know why? Because all he wanted to do was talk basketball, get a hamburger and a pizza. He didn't want to go get steak dinner. He didn't order 3 steaks to take back to his, hotel room. And that's the dude he is, man. He is, everybody on staff loves J.D. Note. Everybody on the team likes J.D. Note because he's a real dude.
I'd be curious, Tommy, over the years, football, basketball, baseball, for Arkansas sports, some of the more recruiting or some of the more extravagant recruiting visits that these guys have been on over the years. But it seems like JD was kind of simple guy. Just give me a burger, give me a pizza, and give me the ball, and let's go.
Yeah, I heard that reference the other night, and some people want to take full advantage of everything you can when you get a trip like that. I get it. And the schools are ready, willing, and able to roll out the red carpet. But what it did is it sent a message to Coach Muss that this guy's serious. He's all about ball. And I think to survive at Eric Musselman's program, you got to be all about ball, man. I mean, because that's all he is about. It's kind of like trying to be in Dave Van Horn's program and not be all about baseball. That's all these guys wake up and go to bed thinking about, and they do it all day long. So I think when you get players in their program that are just that focused and committed, that that's what you're looking for. All right, more to come as we get ready for Saturday. A Be sure and get by River City Bistro. I know right now River City Bistro and like a lot of other businesses closed up with the weather. We'll see how today goes. But plan to be there for brunch this weekend at River City Bistro, 7320 Rogers Avenue in the Stonewood Village Shopping Center. Great brunch starting at 10 a.m. on Saturdays and Sundays each weekend. River City Bistro, 7320 Rogers Avenue in the Stonewood Village Shopping Center.
Y'all are talking about line camping going to Eugene, Oregon. Who wants...
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
Now that's a dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouth.
Some serious crappie.
Nice speck.
We got crappie.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sacalé, paper mouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
The phrase in dire straits originated in the 1400s from sailors having to carefully navigate their vessels through narrow passages to avoid a shipwreck. So Far Away from Dire Straits is a song lamenting the struggle of a long-distance relationship over the phone. Mark Knopfler said, "It's a joke. It can't really be done over a long period of time because you both get exhausted with it. Sin has put us in dire straits with God, and that's why he feels so far away." Jesus said the passage to God is a narrow way, and he promised when he went so far away, the Holy Spirit would be here to stay. This isn't some hunch or intuition, but a conviction navigating you to God's holy word. When you have a real relationship with God, you have the person of the Spirit living inside you, guiding your walk of life every step of the way. Don't trust your feelings. Look up John chapter 16 and see if it sends you reeling. I'm Pastor Heath from Woodland. Read about it.
Football might be over this season, but basketball is in full steam for both pros and college hoops. For all the latest odds, totals, player performance props to where the next fired coach is going to land, BetOnline is the #1 spot for all your sports betting needs. Head over to the website or use your mobile device to sign up today and receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Use our promo code BELIEVE to get started. That's promo code BLEAV. And it's not just basketball. BetOnline is your source for hockey, boxing, and UFC odds, right to the Olympic coverage, is the best in the business. From sports right down to your favorite Vegas casino games, BetOnline is your #1 online wagering destination. BetOnline, the fastest and easiest way to wager on all your favorite sports and play your favorite games. BetOnline, where the game starts.
Good morning to the Morning Rush, everybody.
12 to shoot. Williams, right side. Three-pointer good. Jalen Williams has 22, and the Hogs are within 4.
Just say, Alexa, play ESPN Arkansas.
ESPN Arkansas from TuneIn.
Troy Aikman to ESPN in Monday Night Football. That's kind of one of the big quarterback storylines out of this state. The other big one inside this state is Ryan Mallett's going to be the new head coach at Whitehall. We're going to talk about those two quarterbacks coming up in just a sec, Tommy.
Hey, if you're in Central Arkansas, we're going to be traveling through Central Arkansas. Make a plan to stop for lunch or dinner at the Wood Grill Buffet in Benton. They're open Thursdays through Sunday for lunch and dinner. This is our kind of place. 10:45 to 8:30. They got 30 meats, 55 side items, big salad bar with 70 items on it, and 25 different desserts, Ty, that we can try each and every one of them. We love comfort food. This is the time of year you want comfort food. It's at its finest, as the Hamner family's been doing this with the Wood Grill Buffet for over 40 years. They're at the Congo Road exit in Benton. That's exit 118. So stop there and check out the great buffet at the Wood Grill Buffet in Benton. See the menus and more online, woodgrillbuffetbenton.com. That's woodgrillbuffetbenton.com for the Wood Grill Buffet in Benton at the Congo exit.
Tommy, I know you and I agree that Monday Night Football has not been the same since John Madden left the broadcast, and I don't know if Troy Aikman being added as an analyst is going to get it back to that point, because I think Madden is probably the greatest football analyst of all time, just the way he was able to break down games, interact with people. He's just a big, lovable guy. But are you excited about this transition maybe? And I don't know if Steve Levy is going to stay on as a play-by-play guy. That's something else we'll have to talk about too.
That was my next question, is who's he going to be paired with, and what's going to happen from that standpoint, because it's not just the analyst. I think you've got to have a top-shelf play-by-play person that knows how to maneuver a booth, and that doesn't want to be the star of the show. That was some of the criticism with Tirico, as he oftentimes took up too much of the airtime, and you've got to have a play-by-play man that knows how to set up and really tee it up for the analyst. So I think Aikman's really good, but I think they're all really good right now. I mean, some are better than Collinsworth. I was never a big Collinsworth fan. He's kind of grown on me, but I think Al Michaels makes him better. Tony Romo has been a sensation. So I think there's lots of good ones out there. I don't know that there's one, including Aikman, that stands out above the other, but he would bring, I think, a little more credibility because of his career and just the longevity he's had in the booth to Monday Night Football. But they got to get better games. That's the problem with Monday Night Football. It's not the analysts. It's not the people on TV. The NFL just doesn't give them the best matchups. They don't always have the best game to go watch.
Well, don't they pre-select those games before the season, thinking that there are certain matchups, and that's kind of why they're in that situation?
Yeah, and it doesn't work out that way. But then, some would say when they had that show, it wasn't a sports show, but the deal ESPN did. You might play. I can't remember the name of it, but it was a sitcom, if you will. Not even that. It was just a documentary. Not even getting the right words here. It was just a show they did on the NFL that was a week-to-week deal, kind of like you'd see on regular TV. And since then, the NFL and ESPN, that's the rumor at least, or it's long been said, that didn't get along on that. I just know this. Sunday Night Football is always better than Monday Night Football as far as the games, more weeks than not.
What about the other quarterback story that is more of a statewide story? Ryan Mallett taking over at Whitehall as the new head coach, was at Mountain Home for a little bit. They kind of had a resurgence within their football program, the Bombers, going from a Bomber to a Bulldog as of yesterday, Tommy.
Yeah, it looks like Ryan did a great job for Coach Airy at Mountain Home, got them into the playoffs not this past season, the year before, to the state semifinals, and a resurgence there in a Mountain Home program that's struggled for wins historically for a long time. And now he's got a chance to be a head coach, and he's taken over for Bobby Bolding and that program, who's going to the reports are he'll stay on as AD. He resigned back in December, and Bobby's going to leave a very good program and went to the state championship game, played PA this year in the state title game. So this will be a good job. They'll have good kids to coach, and a program that will be on solid footing, and he'll be working for an AD that gets it, because Bobby Bolding had success everywhere he went. He took 3 different programs to a state championship game, including last year's Whitehall team. So I think this is a good situation for Ryan to step in as a head coach for the first time.
Let's welcome in Charlie in Camden before we get to Tom this morning. He's got some thoughts on this game Saturday between the Wildcats and the Razorbacks. Charlie, go ahead, man. You got about a minute and a half.
piggyback a little bit on what you said yesterday. When I hung up, you talked about good teams being able to do what Arkansas has done, and I 100% agree with you. You know, when you think about this team from the standpoint of, you know, back when they were struggling, you know, and I even remember when we kind of went on that streak, people were saying, well, we hadn't beaten anybody yet. But when you think about this league, top to bottom, the SEC, and just the coaches in this league, going on the road in this league and winning is hard. And especially this year when you got all the fans back, all the students back, you know, and I'm not saying it wasn't hard last year too. That last year's team was great, but I think from just a challenging standpoint, and you know, it might be slightly tougher this year just because you got all the fans back in attendance on these away games, and you know these places. Now you can't fill up like the Bud. I'm sorry, the Bud. The Razorback fans are just unbelievable, but you know not many places are going to fill up like us. But I'm just saying, you know, I think it's really hard to go on the road and win. And, you know, Kentucky's going to come in here Saturday. It's going to be a tight one, and it's going to come down to the end for sure, I think. And, you know, I'll tell you this, you know, I as far as who has the ball in their hands down the stretch, I definitely agree with Muss. There's not one guy I would want to have it more than J.D. Note because the guy just reacts. He doesn't have a conscience. He does, and I think Muss even said it. I mean, the dude he doesn't even know when he's going to shoot. So, you know, how can the opponent know? So, you know, the guy he just reacts. He's just a baller. He's just a great dude, and you know, it's gonna be a great game this Saturday. You know, you guys only gave me a minute and a half, so I'm gonna hang up and listen. But I appreciate you guys.
Thanks, Charlie. Appreciate the call. Yeah, with JD, he's going to be an important factor as he was during the Auburn game. And Tommy, what he just said is kind of what you were addressing yesterday. Good teams find a way to win those Florida games, and that's exactly what Arkansas did on Tuesday night. Eric Musselman's teams on the road seem prepared, seem ready to go, and that's exactly what they were in Gainesville.
And before we get to Tom, they seem confident down the stretch. So when they're down 5 with 5 minutes to go, they don't panic, and because they've been in that spot and they've won. So there's no reason to hit the panic button and lose your mind. They make free throws down the stretch, so they know how to handle the pressure situations in the closing minutes. That's why they win ball games.
Yeah. 877-377-6963, the number that you're welcome to call or text in after we get done with Tom. If you got a question for Tom, feel free to text that in. Tom, I was watching the Kentucky game last night against LSU. Struggled in the first half, got it done in the second with the 71-66 victory. They're sorely missing Severe Wheeler and Ty Washington. Now, Arkansas's luck, they're probably going to be both rip-roaring and ready to go on Saturday. But your thoughts on how Kentucky's played as of late without those guys and the impact if they're not able to go against the Razorbacks Saturday?
Yeah, good morning, everybody. I took it from Jim Calipari's comments to start the week on Monday. It's less likely for them to play than it is likely for them to play. So I think Arkansas is going to have to prepare. I mean, they obviously will be ready if those two are playing. But you watch the first half last night, and you think, okay, LSU has finally found the solution to breaking down, you know, this team without their top 2 point guards. But, you know, Grady and Mintz had a much better second half. I mean, they could not contain Pinson in the first half, and he even got to the rack some in the second. But I think the Razorbacks are going to have to get prepared for Davion Mintz to be all up in J.D. Note, and he is a great on-ball defender, or a very good on-ball defender. But they have to do things. I think what Eric Musselman's background in the NBA and G League and all that's going to help him come up with a way to disrupt the Kentucky, you know, machine, so to speak. To me, the number one deal in this game is to keep Shibwe and, you know, the guy Hopkins who went off last night. Just keep him off the glass. Just hold your own on the defensive glass. Keep Jalen Williams out of foul trouble, and you got a decent shot to beat Kentucky.
Now, you talk about getting to the rim, what Xavier Pinson was able to do last night. You saw that with Devo Davis on Tuesday night. Hopefully he can expand that into Saturday. What's changed with Devontae Davis as of late, Tom?
You know, I guess he's taking better shots or better in rhythm shots. I think there were times when he felt like coming off the bench, sometimes he had to kind of manufacture himself into the offense. And I can't tell you the number of times he rose up for jumpers with 10, 12 seconds left on the shot clock, I'm like, oh, that's not a good shot. And they didn't go in. But I just feel like he is more a part of the natural flow of the offense. And I think his left corner three-point shooting has been a big deal. He shot it well, and I think he's 2 out of 3 from three-point range in 3 of the last 4 games. I mean, he was rocking along there about 20-something% in the low 20s on three-point shooting until these last about 5 or 6 games, and he shot it so much better. And then what you mentioned with his getting to the hole, to me, that is the single most beneficial difference in the Arkansas offense you've seen in the last couple of games. And really in the last game, when they needed some big baskets late, he was able to get through defenders and get all the way to the hole. And when Arkansas was at its best last year, that part of it was really big and very evident. And he got them numerous big shots, getting all the way to the hole. And if he can do that for you, it's a difference maker come tournament time.
Tom, I think about the players that are in state, the Jalen Williams, the Devo Davises of this team that are going to be impact players Saturday. And, while you got J.D. Note and others that have come in through other means, those guys grew up knowing what hating Kentucky meant. Just like the football team kind of got an education on the Texas game. How do you, if you're Eric Musselman, get the team at the right magic level for Saturday? Because you can't be too high and let your emotions carry you away. And we know it's going to be a crazy atmosphere. It's all about reaching that magic level and the understanding of what this game really means on Saturday.
Yeah, it really is, and not getting too high and low within a game. But I'll say this for them. They've been playing in huge atmospheres in a lot of recent games. I mean, almost all of them. Maybe take away the road game at Missouri where they got on top pretty early. But, hey, in that game, they just kind of maintained their deal and didn't let Missouri back in it. But both the Auburn game and the Tennessee game at home were huge atmospheres where you have to balance your emotions, not get too caught up in the crowd. And then the last road game, that was a huge win for them. So I think they'll be just fine. And I think there's going to be a nice chess game between what Kentucky wants to do and what Arkansas wants to do. And, again, Jerry Tipton of the Lexington paper asked about the matchup between Sheboy and Jalen Williams. And, yeah, you're going to see some of that, much like there was Castleton versus Jalen Williams. But I think help defense, getting different guys. I mean, you got to play Kamani Johnson a few minutes on him. Get in there and bang around with the guy. It's going to be a really big part of the game. And, of course, Kentucky's dribble driving, I think they're going to be pretty savvy about knowing that Jalen Williams is going to be at the end of the line, and they're going to try to do dump-offs and get some dunks with Sheboy. So Eric Musselman called that a cat-and-mouse game on his video conference yesterday, and I think that's truly a big part of it.
Selection Sunday is 2 weeks from this Sunday on March the 13th. If Arkansas wins this game or if Arkansas loses this game, how does that change your perception, Tom, on where you may take Arkansas on your bracket? What does Saturday's game mean to you in relation to how good or how far you think this team can go in the postseason, or does it even matter at all in that perspective to you?
Yeah, that's a good question, and I just don't think they fall far out of it's tough to envision them falling far from, say, the 7 line. And the way it looks now is 6 looks a little bit better, and I think 5 is within reach. So if you win it and say you lose at Tennessee and win at LSU, I don't care what happens in the SEC tournament. I think they're solid into the 6 line.
Yeah, but
now, if you lose this game
but beyond seeding, Tom, how confident would this win make you, or a loss change your confidence in where you would put them on your bracket? Not forget about seeding. What would this game do to you for your perception of how far you would take Arkansas in a bracket?
Well, it's a team that's got Tennessee. Kentucky is a team that's got that kind of postseason DNA. Mm-hmm. It's just in its bloodstream, and they know how to play big games down the stretch, road games, and all that. So if Arkansas were to win this one, think about the top-level competition in the SEC, and it's all been in the last couple of weeks. Auburn at home handled business. Tennessee at home, they've got Tennessee again. They went down to a very hungry Florida team and won. And then, they finished up at LSU. So if Arkansas is able to beat Kentucky, they've held their own with the best teams in this conference. Now, granted, all of them have been at home, but they've still got that Tennessee road game to go, and that's going to be a really great game to help prepare them for what the postseason will feel like.
Kentucky's had some preparation walking into Bud Walton on Saturday, going to Lawrence, Kansas for the Big 12 SEC Challenge, came away with a victory in Allen Fieldhouse. I don't think they're going to be intimidated by the presence that Arkansas displays on Saturday, but it's going to be a fun atmosphere nevertheless. Now, Tom, is Bruce Pearl clearly the SEC Coach of the Year? I mean, Muss has done a fantastic job, but, I mean, he's pretty locked up that award, hasn't he?
There's probably going to be some guys who branch off from Bruce Pearl, but look, they've got a very talented roster. And when I think about the postseason, I think they're such an adaptable team. Their guards get a little bit impatient, and Green and Johnson, in my eyes, try to do a little too much at times. But when they're on, I mean, they're just a fantastic team, and I think they're going to be very versatile and adaptable come tournament time. I don't know. Rick Barnes might peel off some votes. And certainly Musselman. I think Arkansas was picked, maybe 5? I can't remember what they were picked in preseason. Third, okay. Mm-hmm. Well, so they're right on track, and Auburn was probably picked below that. So I think it's a good bet Pearl's going to win SEC Coach of the Year.
You're a baseball guy. You like the Atlanta Braves, and we were talking with Drew about this a little bit earlier. I saw Jeff Passan put some stuff out yesterday, ESPN.com baseball reporter. Tom, how frustrated have you been the last couple of days with just what's going on with the MLB and the Players Association?
I would say super frustrated because it's all this big game of theater and it's all about money. And honestly, I look at the headlines. No progress made. I don't read why there wasn't any progress. I don't read what each side has to say about why and who's not giving in. All I want to do is see them play baseball. And this sport, I think above all others, has put its best fans. It has just hurt their fans. I mean, many times over the years. We think back to the '94 strike, and it's just super frustrating. And hey, if we don't have a season, then we'll be World Series champions for longer. So I'm not going to stress one bit about it. It's frustrating, but it doesn't affect my day to day. I'm just mad that there's so much money involved, and they can't just come up with a
solution. Yeah, and I think it's a bigger issue that that more people aren't talking about it, because that tells me what their level of concern and care, Tom. So I mean, if they're not concerned, I think baseball's got bigger issues that the fact that no one's, there's not a big fan pushback right now.
That is a great point. That we've gotten so fed up with these work stoppages that people just throw their hands up and say, "Whatever, you guys work it out. It's not our problem." And it's exactly the way I feel. We'll do something else.
Yeah. All right, Tom Murphy with us, Arkansas Democrat-Gazette. Tom, enjoy the weekend. Hopefully we can all get out from under this ice and have a big crowd for Arkansas, Kentucky.
That sounds like a plan. You guys have a great weekend.
All right, we'll talk to you on Monday. Tom Murphy with us every Monday and Thursday from Whole Hog Sports and the Arkansas Democrat-Gazette. Hey, Wave Rural Connect is opening new zones. The Cedarville zone in North Crawford County is now open. Cedarville, Natural Dam, Uniontown, areas north of Van Buren can get high-speed, fiber-to-your-door internet. If you're tired of terrible, overpriced internet service where you live now, Wave Rural Connect and Arkansas Valley Electric are bringing great TV, phone, and internet packages starting at $49.95 a month for internet for 100 megabits of service to your home. Call 833-492-8372 and find out about when it's available in your area. It may be available right now. That's 833-492-8372, 833-4WAVE-RC. Or check online to sign up now, waveruralconnect.com. That's waveruralconnect.com.
It's National Chili Day across the United States. It's also World Bartending Day. We've already had the beans or no beans talk before. I think Tommy and I agree that beans are okay if it's not on hot dogs, no beans if it's going on chili dogs. World Bartending Day. Tommy, what is in your opinion, I asked Drew this earlier, I would say my favorite mixed drink is a Manhattan. I think that's I've only had a couple of them in my life, but man, when I do have it, they're fantastic. What is your favorite mixed drink on World Bartending Day? Any lot, no price, just this is what I want.
Probably a Buffalo Trace on the rocks would be it.
Okay. Now,
a little ice. Let the ice melt a little bit. Probably just a bourbon on the rocks.
On National Chili Day,
Mm-hmm.
is that considered a stew? Is that kind of the category it revolves? What is it?
To me, stew's got potatoes and carrots and things like that in it. Chili's its own category.
Entity.
And it'd be a good day for either today. Laura and I were talking about this last night, stew, or we didn't talk about chili, but either one would be great today. But if you're going to do stew, you got to have the potatoes, you got to have the carrots, and you got to have a lot of good stew meat in it. If you don't have enough stew meat in it, you might as well then it's soup.
Not even do it. Well,
it's vegetable soup.
The best soup or stews that I had down were like chicken and dumplings, French onion soup with that cheese on top. Love some clam chowder and tomato soup and tortilla and loaded potato. But I would still, of all those great soups and stews I just listed, I would still put chili above them all. Chili to me is just
more hearty.
It's just the pinnacle too.
Well, and soup's a different. I need to be I don't know how to make soup real good, but I know this: if you're going to do good soup, you got to start and make your own stock. So you got to boil your own chicken, or do soup bones and make your own broth and stock, because that's the way it's really done if you're going to do it right.
Are your kiddos going to get out and about today and go sledding, or what's their plan before?
They got out some yesterday. They're supposed to be on a school Zoom at like 9 a.m. this morning, and good luck with that, I guess. So, now you can't go home and just not do the work and do it when you get back. They expect you to get online and work on a snow day. That's amazing. So, no longer kids can't be kids anymore, can they?
I don't have them, so I guess you're going to have to relay the information to me on that. But you don't seem too enthused about the school board. You should pick
you're not the one cracking the whip.
Yeah.
My wife has to be the one cracking the whip on the schoolwork. That's no fun.
Well, she cracks on you all the time. It's not any big deal for her cracking on the kids. She probably likes cracking on you more than she does on the kids, though.
You're probably right. Hey, time for me to tell you about Gaston's. I can't see the clock there.
Sure.
1 minute. Perfect. I nailed it. I can't see it. So anyway, thanks. Hey, Gaston's, it's the time to get to Gaston's White River Resort because, hey, spring is just around the corner. You can start making those plans for spring break or an anniversary or a birthday weekend or whatever you've got coming up. The restaurant's back open. Even if you're not staying at Gaston's, you're up in that area, go by for a great meal overlooking the White River. At night, they've got the lights shining down to the river. You can see a lot of those big trophy browns and rainbows that hang out by the docks. It is an awesome place to hang out. They're known for the fishing trips, though, on the White River. Even on cold, blustery days like today, the big browns and the big rainbows bite today on those sculpins and red worms. It's a great day to go bait fishing on the White River, I promise you. So get to Gaston's. 870-431-5202 is their number. You can read more online at gastons.com. Gaston's White River Resort, a first-class time every time.
Laura needs to take you and get a tune-up, it sounds like, then.
Well, I'm all for that. I don't know what that includes, but I'm for it. You're listening to The Morning Rush.
Day 209 on the island. There is still no rescue in sight. I long for the simple comforts of home. The leather seats, the spacious interior, the 12.3-inch touchscreen display, and of course, the panoramic moonroof. If I could only gaze through it one more time.
Jerry!
What?
Stop talking about your Highlander and help me with the raft.
Frank seems more agitated than normal lately. Could it possibly be because he, too, misses my Toyota Highlander?
No, Jerry, it's not because I miss your Highlander. And stop acting like I can't hear you.
Yes, that must be it. Comparing his sad raft to my sleek-looking Highlander has finally broken him.
Just stop.
Experience the unforgettable 2022 Toyota Highlander for yourself. Visit your local dealer or go to toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places. See packages and options at toyota.com for feature availability.
The Fence Man, the company you can trust when it comes to building quality fencing and gates, is looking for quality people to join the Fence Man team. If you are a fence builder or have building or welding experience, apply in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man offers great pay and a $500 sign-on bonus. Join the top fence building team and get a $500 sign-on bonus. The Fence Man. Apply today in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man is an equal opportunity employer.
Michelob Ultra Organic Seltzer opens like every other seltzer.
course, like every other seltzer. But it's not like every other seltzer. USDA certified organic, no added sugar, and low cal. So you've never seen another seltzer quite like it. And with new refreshing flavors like black cherry and watermelon strawberry, you've never tasted one like it either. Michelob Ultra Organic Seltzer, as real as it tastes. Enjoy responsibly, not a low-calorie food. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Organic Seltzer, IRC Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Select Builders reminds us that many veterans are returning from service and are in need of work. Many have elite military training and valuable professional skills that can benefit your company. Show your stripes. Hire smart and hire vets. This message is from Select Builders, your complete renovation contractors with a reputation for quality work at prices you can afford. For an estimate, call 501-551-3926. That's Select Builders in Little Rock, where they offer discounts to first responders, veterans, and active duty soldiers.
Harry Robinson Salisaw Ford wants to buy or trade for your vehicle today, and they will give you top dollar. Pre-owned car values are at historic all-time highs, and your car today is worth more than it ever will be again. If you are driving a 2013 model or newer with 120,000 miles or less, bring it to Harry Robinson Salisaw Ford, and they'll give you more than any other dealer. Even if you don't want to buy a new car, they'll still buy yours. Harry Robinson Salisaw Ford, 1 mile south of exit 308 off I-40 in Salisaw.
Papa's Pub and Pizzeria is the #1 place to watch every Arkansas basketball game this season. The Hogzilla Specialty Pizza is only $16.99. The Hogzilla Specialty Pizza is made with pulled pork from Neumeyer's Rib Room, sausage, Canadian bacon, pepperoni, crispy bacon, and cheese. Dusted with Neumeyer's Rib Rub. Hop on the Muss Bus for every Arkansas basketball game at Papa's. 508 Garrison Avenue in downtown Fort Smith. Papa's Pub and Pizzeria, the best darn pizza in Fort Smith, perhaps the world.
Hey Hog fans, this is Andy Belkey with Orr Auto Park in Fort Smith. Are you in the market to upgrade or sell your current vehicle? If so, I'm your guy. I have access to one of the largest selections of new and pre-owned vehicles in the area, which means I have a car, truck, or SUV to fit your every need. Give me, Andy, a call or text at 479-285-2280 and let me help you put your dream in your driveway. That's 479-285-2280. Thank you and go Hogs.
It is here, fast, reliable internet from Wave Rural Connect. Cedarville, Uniontown, Natural Dam, and surrounding areas get fast fiber internet, TV, and phone service from a local provider you can trust based in Ozark, Arkansas. Internet starts at $49.95 a month, TV at $43.99, and phone at $29.95. Order now at signup.waveruralconnect.com or call 1-833-492-8372. Do it now. Arkansas Valley Electric and Wave Rural Connect. Changing the communities we serve.
I've never been scared to stay by myself, but we've been talking, and as much as the kids are at home alone and John's out of town on business, we thought it was time for a security system. Guardtronic came out and walked through our home for a free estimate. He pointed out a couple of ideas I hadn't thought of. The licensed technicians were really knowledgeable and courteous. They explained exactly how to use our system. Now I understand how Guardtronic has been in business for over 60 years. Give Guardtronic a call today, 800-542-7866. That's 800-542-7866.
Big Blue Nation is coming to town for a showdown with the Muss Bus. ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com have you covered with Arkansas Game Day and Hog Reaction. Arkansas Game Day starts at 10:30, live from the Stadium Shop on Razorback. And then after the game, all your reactions on Hog Reaction until 5:30. Our pre- and post-game coverage is brought to you by WT Equipment in Springdale, Reed's Metals in Benton, and the Stadium Shop on Razorback. Arkansas versus Kentucky on ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Arkansas football. It's the players running through the A. Hog hats. It's more than 70,000 fans calling Woo Pig Suey.
Yes, sir.
Guys, I've got just one thing I want to say to you. Touchdown, Arkansas!
Arkansas Razorbacks in our championship! The Arkansas Razorbacks have completed the dream season!
This is your Hog Update on the Morning Rush. Brought to you by Mr. Sparky. Need a licensed electrician to service your home? For one of their local pros, call 888-8-SPARKY.
Tommy got on Vivid Seats last night and was looking up the cheapest ticket right now on a third-party website for the game come Saturday. $135, Upper Deck 221, row 11, 2 to 6 tickets. The next one is priced at $150. And that's not including fees. So, Tommy, if you want to step foot, we'll see what the weather does these next couple days. But if you want to step foot into Bud Walton Arena, it ain't going to be for on the cheap, man.
Well, and I'm wondering if tickets prices, if the weather gets worse today, people will start dropping that price. It'll be interesting to watch it as the day goes on. We're expected to get another round of winter weather. I think ticket prices will drop a little bit as we get closer.
We'll have
just
to wait
because of the uncertainty of being able to get there.
Yep. Well, Eric Musselman, just a PSA for everyone out there. Don't ask him for tickets. Don't ask his wife for tickets. Don't ask for son for tickets because he doesn't have any.
I can tell you, like, from a ticket request standpoint, I told my wife, don't ask about tickets. I told my son, don't ask about, I told the staff, like, the ticket requests right now is, through the roof as it was against Auburn. But I do think we'll see an environment, and I told the team last night, you'll probably see an environment starting on Friday around campus with the anticipation of the game Saturday. It's just not going to be on Saturday where the environment's like that. It probably will start on Friday.
Now, Auburn put up on their social media, Tommy, the atmosphere before the game. You saw many students and people were standing outside prior to, as was Tennessee. Are we thinking that Saturday's game is going to surpass what we saw against Auburn a couple weeks ago?
I think the weather was, it was cold for Auburn, but this is a little bit different. I'm getting my weather app here real quick. Saturday, overnight lows 17 degrees, daytime high 42, but partly sunny. I think you're going to have a great crowd. The roads are clear. I think people will get there. But even Tennessee, you said there were some empty seats upper deck corner.
Yeah.
I don't think it'll be that way. People hate Kentucky. People were there because Auburn was the number one team in the country, and it was a big game. You go to cheer against Kentucky as much as you do root for the Razorbacks. So I think Cal brings it out in people. I think this will surpass if the game is good. This will be a better atmosphere.
I always talk about the significant other brings out the best in someone else. Well, Cal brings out the worst in Arkansas basketball fans, as does.
Or the best. I'm not sure if that's the worst. I think he brings out passion. So, I think people hate that guy, and they're going to be there to vocalize it.
It's going to be a fun atmosphere, and if you haven't bought a ticket yet and you're hoping it gets cheaper, it might, but it might not either, so you might as well.
I think that's weather-based, right?
Yeah, and I would agree with you on that. Big news as of last night that was announced via Deltaplex News. Ryan Mallett, Whitehall new head coach, former Arkansas Razorback quarterback, was the OC at Mountain Home in 2020 until this past season. Bombers had a 23-game losing streak, Tommy, and then they finally got to a better record, got to the playoffs. Now, you told me, I didn't know where Bolding went. He's now the athletics director there, and it looks like kind of his first big-time hires is going with the former Arkansas quarterback.
Yeah, Bobby Bolding, who took the team to the state championship game, he was doing both jobs prior to this, and from just reading some reports, that there was a plan in place for him to step down after this season and just become the AD there at Whitehall. He's a football coach. He's been coaching for 24 years. I think it's a hard transition for these guys sometimes to quit coaching and put down the whistle and become an administrator, but he was trying to do both jobs, and I think it's hard in today's time to really do both jobs at the same time well at a 5A level school, at a larger school. So he's laid a good foundation for success everywhere Bobby Bolding has been. He's got to state championship games in the last 3 schools he's coached. I think Ryan Mallett is walking into a solid situation here with a good AD, and it'll be his first head coaching job. And I think his teams will be prepared, and they'll be fun to watch as an offense. So we'll see who he's able to bring in around him. If it's not like college where you bring a whole staff with you, but it'll be interesting to see if there's a name or two that pop up that you might recognize that join his staff at some point.
Now, I know a lot of you Arkansas fans prior to the season, football-wise last year, were disappointed to see Brad Crawford of 24/7 Sports have KJ as his 14th best quarterback in the league. Well, I was texting Brad about that during the season, him turning around. Well, now, Tommy, heading into spring, Brad's got KJ at number 2, only trailing Bryce Young. So I think he saw what he needed to see to know that KJ's not the 14th best quarterback in this league.
Well, it's his opinion last year. His opinion was wrong. Wasn't backed up by the play on the field. So question is, where can KJ be? Obviously, Bryce Young, Alabama's going to be at the top of everyone's list. Is he in the top 2 or 3 or 4 for a lot of people? It'll be interesting to see what kind of confidence people outside of our state have in KJ as the summer moves along.
If you're making your way up to Fayetteville for the game this weekend on Saturday inside of Bud Walton Arena, good news from the Arkansas Department of Transportation. Tommy, they have pre-treated the roads ahead coming the winter weather. If you're going on, it's what, I-40? Is that I don't know what the actual road is. Is that what it is?
Coming from where? Yeah, obviously 49 is the main thoroughfare.
Just said all major roads. So what are those roads?
I would say I-40, I-49, and 412 are the main thoroughfares into northwest Arkansas to get to the game. Right now, this morning, you got ice patches south of the tunnel. North of the tunnel, you got listed as more ice on iDrive.com or iDriveArkansas.com. So, really, if you drew a line halfway across the state from the east side, south of Memphis, across Little Rock down to, say, Mena, everything south of there is clear roadways. Everything north of there's the main thoroughfares have some trouble. So, hopefully Saturday that's out of the way. But yeah, those high elevation bridges there on 49 probably give you a lot of concern.
Yeah, the key is for the sun to be out, which it is going to be on Friday, and then hopefully Saturday as well. You hope that gets out as much as possible, so the weather, which is going to be impactful regardless, but you hope that some of that stuff melts as people make their way up to Bud Walton Arena. That's going to do it for your Hog Update. It is brought to you by Mr. Sparky.
You don't have to put up with any malarkey. Call 888-8-SPARKY.
Tommy Baylor Brad, my great father, turned 60 today. I already shot him a text this morning. I'm going to call him after the show, but
he shot me a couple texts this morning.
Oh,
already.
Did he? Okay,
yeah,
so he's already up listening.
Yeah, he's headed to Gaston's, I guess. I don't know if I'm supposed to share that. I think you did yesterday.
Yeah,
so
he's
good.
Clear.
He said he heard me talking about Gaston's a minute ago. Said Baylor Brad's looking forward to Gaston's. I said, hey, get you a big fire going in one of them fireplaces and enjoy the view there. He said they're in one of them big cabins and they're looking forward. Got the dogs ready to go and they're already looking at the menu. They're just like you, already looking at the menu to see what's
smart.
See what's there to
like
eat.
Father, like son, man.
Yeah.
And he taught me well.
Hey, speaking of eating, this weekend, if you're not going to make it to the game, get to Joe's Grill and Cantina. $1 tacos all day on Saturday. Then during the Arkansas-Kentucky game, you can break some of that cabin fever, get to Joe's for half-price apps and taps during the game. They'll have it on all the TVs around the restaurant. So great place to watch the game with your fellow Hog fans is at Joe's Grill in Fort Smith. Half-price apps and taps during the game, $1 tacos all day long. Joe's Grill and Cantina, 3400 South 74th Street across from Harps.
When we come back, Richard Davenport going to update us on recruiting this weekend, who could be in attendance for this Kentucky game. Plus, J.D. Note had to hold a towel above his head in practice. What's the worst conditioning you've ever had to gone through in sports in your life?
Make your backyard dreams a reality this summer with an in-ground pool from Burton Pools and Spas. Save $5,000 this month on select in-ground pools. And with payments starting at $290 a month, your own backyard oasis is not out of reach. Be one of the first 7 families to call and receive a free upgrade to a saltwater system, a nearly $2,000 value. Save $5,000 and get a free upgrade at Burton Pools and Spas in Springdale and in Fort Smith and online at burtonpools.com.
Finding your niche is key to making it in today's world. Hi, this is Brett Goo with Henderson Phillips. I found my niche in the NFL for 10 years as a long snapper. Now I've found my niche with Henderson Phillips, helping business owners and executives get the most value for top dollar on employee benefits. I am Brett Goo with Henderson Phillips. Call or text me today at 479-651-2292. That's 479-651-2292.
The temperatures may be cooling down, but at Wheels RV in Northwest Arkansas, the deals are still red hot. Whether you are enjoying one of over 50 state parks or tailgating with your favorite team, Wheels has the right RV to help you enjoy fall in the natural state. And at Wheels RV, every new unit comes with a lifetime warranty. So get out to Wheels and see why they were voted best RV dealership in Northwest Arkansas. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
This is Bruce Stanton, Vice President and General Manager of Pradco Fishing in Fort Smith. Our #1 volume lure out of our 20 fishing brands is the Bobby Garland Baby Shad. We make them by the millions in our facility in Fort Smith, and the Baby Shad is without a doubt the #1 soft plastic crappie lure in the U.S. Fish it on a light jig head or underneath a float, and you'll find it's as productive as live bait. Available at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Academy, LureNet.com, and tackle stores all over the place. The Bobby Garland Baby Shad.
State sales tax paid on every pre-owned vehicle on the lot now through the end of the month at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. You heard right. State sales tax paid on pre-owned vehicles at Harry Robinson. You'll save hundreds, even thousands with sales tax paid. This sale does not apply to previously negotiated deals. Don't miss your chance to get your state sales tax paid now through the end of the month on every pre-owned vehicle on the lot. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 at Fort Smith.
It is here, fast, reliable internet from Wave Rural Connect. Cedarville, Uniontown, Natural Dam, and surrounding areas get fast fiber internet, TV, and phone service from a local provider you can trust based in Ozark, Arkansas. Internet starts at $49.95 a month, TV at $43.99, and phone at $29.95. Order now at signup.waveruralconnect.com or call 1-833-492-8372. Do it now. Arkansas Valley Electric and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
Don't you just hate that? Sitting in a tire store waiting room while your car's being serviced? That's the last place you need to be with work and kids and the 10 million things you need to be doing. Well, don't. Free shuttle service. Pickup and delivery free when you spend $75 and only $10 if less. Jody'sAuto.com will make your life easier. Hi, Kim Bircher. 3 locations, 1 in Van Buren and 2 in Fort Smith. One stop. We do everything. So you don't have to go from place to place for tires or service or repairs or maintenance. We are local. 37 years and voted best of the best time and time again. We will pick up and deliver or shuttle you so you don't have to waste your time. Honesty and customer service is always our number one goal. We will make your life much easier at Jody'sAuto.com. JODYSauto.com.
We're remixed and remastered at TGI Fridays in Fort Smith. Some of your favorite apps, drinks, and desserts are now even better the second time around. Check out the sizzling cheesy bacon mac and cheese bites, a blast from the past with a whole new vibe. Also back are the famous Fridays fried mushrooms and the ultimate cheesy bacon cheeseburger. And all new at Fridays is the Oreo Madness, house-made giant Oreo cookies with cookies and cream ice cream coated in red and white sprinkles, served with chocolate sauce and a fresh strawberry. Come by or order online. It's your locally owned TGI Fridays at I-540 and Rogers in Fort Smith.
Tired of constant computer issues at work? And who knows what the real problem is? Is it the router? No, it's the hardware. Wait, they said it was the software. Call Hashtag Managed IT Services. Their multifaceted approach to IT support guarantees that everything is working at optimum performance. And Hashtag prevents the small problems from becoming big issues. Hashtag Managed IT Services in Van Buren. 479-802-4978. That's 479-802-4978. Hashtag Technology without the headache.
Live here at Randall Ford, 5500 Rogers Avenue in Fort Smith. Billy, you guys have roughly about 200 pre-owned vehicles on the lot. With every single one of your pre-owns, it's a 150-point safety inspection.
And if they don't pass inspection, they don't get out on our used lot. So they're top-notch, some of the nicest cars in the area.
Come by and see us again, Randall Ford, 5500 Rogers Avenue in Fort Smith. You can always check us out online at randallford.com.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, dangerous driving is expected as we may see an additional 1/4 to 3/4 of an inch of ice and some sleet accumulation possible. So the roads are really going to be very treacherous. Low to mid-30s today. We will dry out tonight with clouds, overnight lows in the teens. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by Come Get You Some, Arkansas's premier off-road superstore. Call 782-MUD today. You're listening to The Morning Rush, live from the Bushlight Studios on ESPN 95.3, KERX Paris, Fort Smith. This hour of The Morning Rush is brought to you by the Bobby Garland Baby Shed. Available at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Academy, LureNet.com, and tackle stores all over the place.
Hey, you guys play cards? Anybody play spades? You do, right, Devo? A little bit. Okay, so you do play cards, right? You know what we got? You know what I got? Right here. What is this? What happens, Devo, when you got this card? Game over, right? Do you know what that is? Defense, rebounding, and toughness. That's what we got.
this is Darren McFadden, and you're listening to The Morning Rush.
Live from the Busch Light Studios.
People who really want to have a good time won't come to a slaughterhouse. And we've got entirely too many troublemakers here.
On your favorite Arkansas sports talk station.
I don't like you because you're dangerous. That's right. I am dangerous.
Streaming live from
Hit that line.
.com.
I hit the 7-iron like John Daly hits the 3.
This is The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson.
You just got to keep living, man.
And Tommy Kraft.
We follow orders or people die. Are we clear?
The Morning Rush starts right now.
Yes, sir.
There's a lot of big-time recruits in Fayetteville for the Arkansas-Kentucky game, and hoping to see a similar type of atmosphere, if not better, when the Wildcats coming to town on Saturday. Richard Davenport's going to update us on who might or is going to be there high school recruiting-wise, and Tommy, he's going to do that in just a sec.
Yeah, looking forward to talking to RD in just a second. Hey, with March Madness just around the corner, the biggest college basketball games of the year, on the doorstep here. Sports fans are looking for the best and easiest place to bet online. That's BUSR.com. That's where you want to go. And I'm going to tell you how to get a deposit bonus that's 100% in just a minute. Go to BUSR.com/Morning Rush for that offer. They have everything you want right there. NCAA tournament, March Madness games coming up, bracket contest. If you like movies, you can bet on the Oscars or the Academy Awards. They have everything available. Sportsbook, racebook, live casino. It's safe, it's fun, and it's secure. And I mentioned the 100% deposit bonus. Go to BUSR.com/Morning Rush. And when you sign up there, they'll match your deposit 100%. So you put 100 in, get another 100. You put 500 in, get another 500. It's simple as that. BUSR.com/Morning Rush. It's BUSR.com/Morning Rush. Bet with confidence. Bet with BUSR.
Always joining us at 8 o'clock, Arkansas Democrat Gazette, Whole Hog Sports, Richard Davenport. Richard, I was reading Dudley's piece, your coworker, and I know Jordan Walsh is expected to be there for Kentucky. Omaha Billahu looks like that he could be there as well. Anyone else that may have reached out to you or that you may have reached out to that could be attendance for this game against the Wildcats on Saturday?
As of last night, Omaha won't be coming. He's got to go back home on Saturday in Iowa. But Nick Smith's supposed to be there. Jordan Walsh, like you said, the blockers, Landon and Landgren. The 23 four-star point guard, Landon, and his brother, who's a 24 combo from Little Rock Christian. And then Brandon Garrison, the 2023 four-star big, about 6'9", 6'10", from Oklahoma, was supposed to be there, but his game got pushed back from Friday to Saturday, so that takes care of him. Dallas Thomas from Little Rock Parkview, the 2024 forward, will be at the game. Jeremiah Johnson, the 23 four-star point guard from Oklahoma City area, he won't be able to make it. He also has a game, so we're running into some, weather issues, and also, games being pushed back, and also having playoffs too. So it's going to diminish maybe some of the guys being able to make it.
Richard, I think that Cal is always going to be a recruiting nemesis for Eric Musselman based on the brand of Kentucky, based on his success and track record with NBA guys. But outside of Cal, is it Pearl? Is it Wade? Is it Barnes? Who is the maybe second in line that Musselman has to compete against the most in this league, in your opinion, for players?
Because they recruit at such a high level, I mean, they're going after guys that are mostly, in the top 100. Yeah, I would. It's kind of hard to just say one. I was just thinking about that. I mean, yeah, Pearl. They've definitely gone head-to-head with Pearl, Alabama, Cal, Texas. As far as with Jordan Walsh. I mean, it just depends. I don't know if there's just one school they seem to bump up against all the time. it's multiple schools that when you're recruiting at a high level, you're going to be going up against some of the blue bloods of college basketball. So it's hard to pinpoint just one.
Has the tide turned in regards to recruiting and Cal coming into the state and getting your best player? It seemed like for a while you think about Malik Monk, you think about Goodwin, you think about some other players where, well, if Cal came in, Arkansas was in trouble. Does it feel to you like that the tide's turned with the success Arkansas's had under Eric Musselman?
Oh, there's no doubt about that. I think sometimes you get into some trends, and trends happen when kids do things. Some of the top players, they go out of state or they stay in state, and now they're staying in state with Moses Moody and the other guys staying in state, and Moses having success, being one and done, and then with Nick Smith deciding to stay home. I think that kind of motivates guys to take a harder look at Arkansas and thinking, well, I don't have to go out of state. I don't have to go to Kentucky to have success. And I think that's something that you're probably going to see going forward, especially with Coach Muss and his staff, because they work so hard at recruiting. They're very good at developing relationships. And let's face it, his NBA background and his staff with having so much NBA background experience, that's a plus. And the guy knows basketball. He's got connections. He knows how to get you to the league, and that's what kids want.
NIL has become such a big part of the equation now, and the deals that players can secure through that. This feels, Richard, Saturday like a big NIL game for players, either to kind of give the return on the investment for the deals they got, but also for bigger deals down the road. To me, we haven't thought of that angle before, but this feels like one of those games where you could really kind of elevate yourself from an NIL standpoint for the players that are on the roster.
Yeah, you hit a big shot. You have a big game. Definitely. I mean, that's the big. You're playing and you're elevating your game, or helping your team to win over the one program that everybody wants to beat, and the energy in that arena is going to be insane. So. I think that's a possibility. It could definitely help, one of the guys or a couple of the guys.
Legends are born in games like this.
No, there's no doubt. And what's some of the most recent games that we remember? Qualls against Kentucky. We still remember Scotty's shot against Kentucky at Bud Walton. It's usually the high profile games when a guy, comes out and makes some plays, and people are always talking about that for not only just coming weeks, but years.
I think about the play that Jalen Tate made last year, getting that offensive rebound, sinking those 2 free throws that helped Arkansas beat the Wildcats. Devontae got that steal at the end of the game. We were talking about him a little bit earlier as well. And Richard, for the display that Bud Walton has been on this season, you think about the Auburn game, the celebration that ensued, the Tennessee game, and now the Kentucky game. Just the atmosphere that Jordan and Nick and Anthony and some of the other guys that they're trying to recruit have either seen on television or gotten to experience firsthand themselves. I mean, and I know you want to get to the NBA. I know you want to play for a good coach, but how much does that element, you think, help Arkansas when it comes to recruiting high-caliber basketball players?
Well, it helps in all sports. When kids visit the campus and see an intense crowd, and it's our Arkansas fans are in some ways are on a different level than other fan bases, just because it's the only school. It's the basically one school, no pro sports. All the energy goes towards Arkansas, and kids see that, whether it's basketball, football, baseball, what have you. The support that Arkansas enjoys is as far as the intensity of the crowd and the loudness and the enthusiasm. And then when you have a team like you have right now, coming off of the Elite Eight appearance, and then having success this year and playing the way that they are right now. And then you have a head coach that is probably as much of a promoter as he is as a coach. And I don't, it's not a slight. That's just, Muss is just a guy that just loves, interacting with the fans and encouraging them to show up and they're so creative in trying to build up the energy for a game. I mean, you see it when they get on the court and kids see that and they hey, you want to play for a program like that and a coach like that.
I want to ask you about the Monday Night Football situation. It looks like that Troy Aikman is going to head to ESPN via the New York Post and Andrew Marchand. Some people don't care who's broadcasting. I like Madden. I like Gruden. What do you think about him kind of shifting gears from Fox and stepping into that Monday Night Football booth, Richard?
I'm kind of neutral. I'm like you too. Madden, Gruden. I like some energy. Where I think with Aikman, he's more of he's good. I like him, man. I enjoy listening to him, but he's not on the same energy level as some of the guys that like Madden or Gruden, at least to me. But I think it's a good pick. But on the other side of it, a lot of times I kind of tune the guys out and just really watch the game. But it is kind of fun to have a guy that's kind of entertaining and can break down the game for you really well. But I'm kind of hot and cold on announcers. I'm not going to lie to you.
Yeah, there was rumors he was going to go to Amazon for their new NFL package, him and Al Michaels, and I don't know, that was just a diversion or a smoke screen or whatever. But I still think as popular as streaming TV is and more people are getting used to it, it's still going to be hard, even with the NFL. Those games, I don't think, I may be wrong, I don't think they'll be as watched as much as the ones on regular TV. It'll be interesting to see how that goes. That might have been part of his decision, Richard. He doesn't. While Amazon's got all the money in the world, you still want to do work that people are going to see.
Yeah, no doubt. And the networks, everybody's got the networks, so I can see that. And same time, I mean, hey, he's not hurting for money, and I think a lot of it's just chemistry and how he feels about the people that that are hiring him and the people that he's going to be working with on the air and stuff like that. So it's not always about maybe an extra million or so here or there.
Yeah, they're starting to get player money now. These analysts, $15 to $20 million a year. So it's kind of like covering recruiting. It pays pretty well. So, Richard, yeah, exactly. Richard, thanks for your time. We'll talk to you next Thursday. Stay safe out there.
All right, buddy. I'll be at my yacht this weekend. Take care.
Maybe I can use my helicopter and drop in on the helipad on top of your yacht there.
You're more than welcome anytime, Tony. Come join us, big guy.
First liar never stands a chance, do they, Ty? Yeah, it's when I think of high-paying salaries, I think of sports radio and covering recruiting for high school. All right, we are brought to you this morning by Razorback Camper Sales. Spring camping season is almost here, and not only do they have a huge selection of travel trailers, fifth wheels, and pop-ups, but they also offer full prep and setup at no extra cost, so you can leave the lot and start camping immediately. You'll have access to the best parts and service department in the state, and it's the oldest family-owned RV dealer in Arkansas. They've been in business for over 50 years. Come see why our customers are always happy campers in Hot Springs or online at RazorbackCampersales.com. Now, I want to ask you, all of you listening, not just Tommy and Drew, think back to middle school or high school, or for some of you college that had were fortunate enough to play at a collegiate level sports. Think back to that one practice, that one coach, that one drill that you hated with every fiber of your being because it was probably a conditioning drill. Well, I know for Arkansas basketball fans, it's irritating to watch J.D. Notae on the sidelines when he should be in the game when he has foul trouble. So one of the things that Muss has been doing with J.D. is during practice is having him hold up a towel with two hands above his head so he's moving his feet. Here's what he had to say about that.
Yeah, when you have to guard in practice holding the towel above your head, sometimes that'll help you learn not to use your hands. I can't use my left arm, but if you got one hand here and one on the other side and you got to shuffle your feet and you're not allowed to hand check, it certainly helps. You can't gamble either when you're holding the towel.
So doing triceps or biceps or stuff like that, or something with your shoulders, lifting a bar, it stinks. The workouts, whatever it may be. Tommy, take me back to a drill or some form of conditioning that y'all did back in high school or middle school that you will never, ever do again or never make your kids do or whatever.
50-yard bear crawls. Those are the worst. And the first set, not the first rep, not too bad. When you get to about 5, 6, 7 of those, and you knew there was 5, 6, 7 more coming, that was rough. It hurt your shoulders. It hurt your legs. It made your hind end sore the next day. So 50-yard bear crawls are the ones I still remember 30 years later.
What about you, Drew? What was the one that you did in high school that you hated?
Probably it's a tie between two as far as a drill like a bear crawl thing that you could do at every practice was the popcorn drill. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Don't know what you're talking about.
So basically there's 3 guys and you're in a 4-point stance and you're chopping your feet. And then the guy in the middle rolls to his right. The guy on the right jumps.
Oh, yeah.
We're even back and forth. And that was terrible to do in like 110 humidity heat during 2 days during the summer. But the number one probably would be the 100-yard ladder. And I still remember it to this day. Assistant coach Ben Farley just looked at all of us and said, "Men, when I was in school, we took pride in what we did. And I can still remember the day that I completed a 100-yard ladder. And when you get to my age, at the ripe age of 63, I think is what he was at the time, you'll remember it as well." And I looked at my buddies and go, yeah, I don't really care about having that memory. And now that I have that memory, I really could care less. I wish it never had happened.
Yeah.
I would say ours was basketball. Coach Trimley, who's now the head coach at Baptist Prep, used to make us run mountains. Now, this wasn't an inhumane drill by any means. It was just a drill. You had to make it backcourt or full court and back in a certain amount of time. But the key was it was as a team. And I know Muss, you know how Muss talks about when they run that mile, the guards have to do it in a certain amount of time and the big men are given a little more. Well, Tommy, it wasn't like that for us. The big men and the guards were calculating the same time. So even if you ran it in the right amount of time, if you weren't encouraging enough or if you weren't pushing your other guys enough and they weren't able to complete it, then you had to do it again. And what it was 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. So down, back, down, back, down, and you do it, and then you get up to 9, and you come back down, and you had to touch the line. There would be times that we'd complete it, but one guy wouldn't touch the line on the end, and we have to start it over again. Or I was made to believe that there would just be a guy that touched the line, but they said that we didn't touch the line, so we had to do it over again. But those mountains, and then suicide, something similar. Everyone's heard of a suicide on the basketball court. Gassers in football, you run basically the sidelines back and forth. Those are the ones. The longer distances for me weren't as bad because I was more of a fitness guy. But the speed, dude, I was slow in high school, middle school, elementary, college, post. Those were the ones that killed me because I was not the fleetest of foot in any day of my life, Tommy.
So what time did you have to run the mile in?
The mile we were supposed to get under 6 minutes. I ran it, 6 minutes and 30 seconds. I ran it in, I think, 5:57. That's the best mile I was run. That was when Ty was booking it back in the day. I mean, I could probably run, I don't know, between a 5 minute and 30 second to 6 minute mile, and that was good for me. I don't know if that's good, like in the realm of reality now.
That's pretty good.
Is that pretty good? Well, again, I wasn't fast, but if I ran a mile just solid, I was consistent. I was slow as dirt, man, back in the day. I'm still slow as dirt. I mean, slower now.
Yeah, so I mean, we used to do 1.5 miles and 12. If you could do that was what we were working on a while back, and about 4 or 5 years ago, I could do that. A few cheeseburgers later, I think that'd be
changed a little bit. Yeah,
but 1.5 miles and 12 is a good mark too.
Yeah, it's a little difficult, but I just think to some of these drills and a college weight conditioning program, what Coach Jamil Walker's running with the football team. I cannot. Help me out with I'm going to have to look up I think it's Dave Richardson is the strength and conditioning coach for the Arkansas basketball team. And then it's Blaine Kinsey for the baseball team. I think that's right. Those guys, we were joking about having to go through an NFL practice. Going through their strength and conditioning program just sounds awful, and we wouldn't last more than 10 minutes.
Well, after that, you need a good night's sleep, and that's where you need our friends at Cheap Sleep Furniture and Mattresses, home of the largest same-day selection to get you a great mattress, because if you're going to work that hard, you need a good night's sleep. They've been locally owned, been around for 16 years, great customer service, and they've got overstock specials up to 75% off the retail price year-round. Serta, Sealy, Beautyrest. Mattresses are up to 70% off, and you can also choose from great furniture selections. They have couches and love seats start at just $8.99. Prices you can't find anywhere else, you'll find at Cheap Sleep. Same as cash, no credit financing available. Cheap Sleep, Furniture and Mattresses. They're all over our area. Springdale, Bentonville, Conway, and in Fort Smith. And you can shop online at cheapsleepnow.com. Come see Cheap Sleep Furniture and Mattress near you.
2 years ago when you played Kentucky, you were very emotional heading into the game, very emotional during the game. Cal gets ejected. You think it's going to go right. And then it didn't. And then you couldn't figure out in the final stretch. Kentucky went zone. Give credit to that staff because they got it done against you. Now you got a better team. Now you seem to have more resolve. Can you get it done on Saturday? Eric Musselman talked about that. Plus, Ryder Cup captain has been reportedly announced. I'll tell you who that is. I know a lot of you out there are Ryder Cup fans. That's one of your favorite golf events of the season. We'll talk about that and a whole lot more on a Recruiting Thursday edition of the Morning Rush.
Have you listened to Trusting the...
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
Now that's a dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouth.
Some serious crappie.
Nice speck.
We got crappies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sacalé, paper mouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
The phrase in dire straits originated in the 1400s from sailors having to carefully navigate their vessels through narrow passages to avoid a shipwreck. So Far Away from Dire Straits is a song lamenting the struggle of a long-distance relationship over the phone. Mark Knopfler said, "It's a joke. It can't really be done over a long period of time because you both get exhausted with it. Sin has put us in dire straits with God, and that's why he feels so far away." Jesus said the passage to God is a narrow way, and he promised when he went so far away, the Holy Spirit would be here to stay. This isn't some hunch or intuition, but a conviction navigating you to God's holy word. When you have a real relationship with God, you have the person of the Spirit living inside you, guiding your walk of life every step of the way. Don't trust your feelings. Look up John chapter 16 and see if it sends you reeling. I'm Pastor Eve from Woodland. Read about it.
Football might be over this season, but basketball is in full steam for both pros and college hoops. For all the latest odds, totals, player performance props, to where the next fired coach is going to land, BetOnline is the #1 spot for all your sports betting needs. Head over to the website or use your mobile device to sign up today and receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Use our promo code BELIEVE to get started. That's promo code BLEAV. And it's not just basketball. BetOnline is your source for hockey, boxing, and UFC odds right to the Olympic coverage is the best in the business. From sports right down to your favorite Vegas casino games, BetOnline is your #1 online wagering destination. BetOnline, the fastest and easiest way to wager on all your favorite sports and play your favorite games. BetOnline, where the game starts.
Trade, Harry Robinson Salisaw Ford is the only place to buy your next truck. Harry Robinson Salisaw Ford, 1 mile south of exit 308 off I-40 in Salisaw.
I've never been scared to stay by myself, but we've been talking, and as much as the kids are at home alone and John's out of town on business, we thought it was time for a security system. Guardtronic came out and walked through our home for a free estimate. He pointed out a couple of ideas I hadn't thought of. The licensed technicians were really knowledgeable and courteous. They explained exactly how to use our system. Now I understand how Guardtronic has been in business for over 60 years. Give Guardtronic a call today, 800-542-7866. That's 800-542-7866.
Start the new year at Joe's Grill and Cantina. Joe's Grill and Cantina has daily specials like Mexicali Monday with 2 of your favorite sides, Taco Tuesdays with crispy tacos just $1 each, and don't forget everyone's favorite Fajita Fridays. And watch every Hogs game at Joe's. Half-price apps and taps during every televised game. The best Tex-Mex in town is at Joe's Grill and Cantina, 3400 South 74th Street, across from Harps.
Hi folks, matchmaker Larry Rath here with a sweetheart of a deal from Rath Auto Resources. I'm on a mission to help you find the nicer, newer car of your dreams. So if the thrill is gone with your old ride, come see the best selection of Rath Road Ready vehicles we've had in over 2 years. Each one hand-picked and reconditioned in our Meineke Car Care Center. Just find the one you love the best and let our friendly, non-commissioned solution specialists do the rest. With discounts up to $4,100 below retail and the highest trade-in values ever, you'll be head over heels for the deals too. Going to make it work with the car you have? Let us give it the attention it deserves in our Meineke Car Care Center with a free winter-ready inspection, half-off brakes, and buy 3 get 1 free on all tires. But hurry, this deal will be over quicker than your first crush. Start driving better today in a nicer, newer car you love from Arkansas's favorite used car dealer, Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, 4515 Towson Avenue, Fort Smith, or online, rathauto.com.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3. The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson and Tommy Kraft.
Chris into the front court. Tries to cross Ellis over, stops, goes, penetrates, kicks out, Note for 3, and it's good. Hogs have the lead.
Arkansas Game Day is live at the Stadium Shop on Razorback this Saturday, starting at 10:30. Phil Elson and Ty Richardson will have your pregame coverage, getting you ready for the Arkansas-Kentucky game. It's presented by WT Equipment in Springdale, Reed's Metals in Benton, and the Stadium Shop on Razorback.
Eric Musselman talked about the Arkansas-Kentucky game 2 years ago leading up to Saturday and how great of an atmosphere it was, the emotions that ran really high. Well, he wants to keep them more in check this time, especially in the course of the game. We're going to share what he had to say coming up. But first, I want to tell you about the Peacemaker that's coming back to Fort Smith July 29th and 30th. It's on the riverfront. It's a great time. I've been there a good number of times. You can check out all the information, peacemakerfest.com, for videos, pictures. Facebook and Instagram is where you're going to find them. The headliners, Zach Bryan, Lucas Nelson, Promise of the Real, Charlie Crockett, the Steelwoods, and there's more artists. Again, to find those, go to peacemakerfest.com. The last 7 years, Peacemaker has donated over $650,000 to local nonprofits. If you haven't been, regardless if you live in the River Valley, Northwest Arkansas, Southern Arkansas, Central, Northeast, it doesn't matter. It's a great time. Come experience it. Again, the peacemakerfest.com.
You know, I think we got too emotionally invested early in the game, and I don't think our legs ran out of gas. I think emotionally we ran out of gas. I think when Coach Cal, got thrown out of the game, I think that some of our players from a maturity standpoint might have thought that, the game would change in our complexion, which it didn't. It flipped the other way, and that's why Coach Cal's, a phenomenal coach and really can read situations. But what we have talked about is we have talked about that game this year and some of our big games with big crowds, and talked about the fact that, we got to play for 40 minutes. We know there's going to be scoring runs. The game's never over. And it's going to be the case on Saturday as well.
Tommy, Saturday is going to be electric, but kind of like you were talking about prior to the Auburn game a couple Tuesdays ago, you can't let the emotions overwhelm you to the point that you're too jacked up prior to stepping on that floor.
That's what we were talking about with RD a minute ago, that you've got to find that magic level. We were talking about that with Tom earlier in the show. Is Coach Muss doesn't have to work to get focus between Florida and Kentucky. Kentucky gets your attention, but you got to find that magic level with the emotions, and that's going to be the challenge, is not getting too juiced up, too much adrenaline flowing, particularly if you get out to a lead and you think that, hey, you're up 8, 10, 12 at some point in the game, knowing Kentucky can come back and trying to stay focused like that. That's the hard part for a coach, is finding that magic level. And that's why the defensive points of emphasis that Coach Muss has are so important, because that's a little less about touch, a little less about feel like shooting. You just got to put the effort in.
Devo talked about it after the win against Tennessee. Defense isn't about talent, it's just about effort. And I thought that thought and kind of how you just described it really resonated with me, because this team, they had talent, they just weren't putting the effort on display. And then there's still chemistry issues that they had at the beginning of the season. We got to remember, this team this past season didn't gel immediately. They had to work through some issues just like this team has. I do wonder, though, this team right now, 12 of 13, last year's team won 13 straight heading into the NCAA tournament after they had just lost the semifinals, so I guess 13 of 14. Tommy, this team kind of figured it out technically a little before the team last year did, if you want to get into semantics and stuff like that.
Yeah, and I still come back to the shoulder surgery and the pain that Muss was going through, and just kind of how things were, in that 6-game stretch. You just time all that up, and since that point, since he had the shoulder surgery, they've been on a tear. And they've been a much different team. And, there's been many talk about their rise in the net rankings from 93 to 23. And no one's been hotter in college basketball the last 45 days or 30 days, really, but certainly since the first of the year than Arkansas.
Sam wants us to refer to John Calipari, Tommy, as John Cheetah Perry. He wants to. That's his new nickname, apparently, that Sam wants us to use. But to your point about the hottest teams in college basketball, Gonzaga is always going to spout off about how they've won so and so many straight, but it's not the same competition that Arkansas has been facing. And I'll say this, a good chunk of that has been at home, but you did get a good win against Florida on Tuesday night. You'll go to Tennessee to close out your season, but it is nice. Let's just be real. The two best teams you're going to play all season long are two teams at home, Auburn and Kentucky, and you don't have to go to Lexington or Auburn Arena.
Well, that'll be great, and huge opportunity again on Saturday. We're brought to you by Riley Farm Dental at the entrance to Riley Farms in South Fort Smith, 5901 Riley Park Drive. Dr. Sparkman, I promise you, he is all about Arkansas beating Kentucky on Saturday. Huge Razorback fan, and they want to make your life better, more comfortable. Their office does all kinds of dentistry, from the general dentistry to braces to implants, cosmetics. It's all in one place, making it easy for you. One of the reasons they've been voted top 3 best of the best every year since 2017. See more at RileyFarmDental.com. That's RileyFarmDental.com, or call 226-3500 for an appointment.
U.S. Ryder Cup is at Whistling Straits this year. You were talking about that before the show. Zach Johnson has been reportedly named the U.S. Ryder Cup team captain. I know that Steve Strickert has done in years past, but this is something that a lot of people pay attention to, and I know you're really excited for it as well.
Yeah, it's an every other year event. It's always in football season, which is the downturn to that for me, but it's something that even in football season I'm going to keep an eye on, because I think it's the best international competition. It probably isn't in most people's opinion, but I love the Ryder Cup, and that is on my bucket list of something to do. I'd love to go to one over there, but it's a every 2-year deal, and I think Zach Johnson will do a great job. He's learned from Steve Stricker. He's been a vice captain before. He knows what the system looks like. I think he can lead the Americans to a win.
Now, Whistling Straits, I think, is what it was last year, Tommy. I think it's in Italy this next year because it's a 2-year, so it's in 2023 is what I'm reading. I think that's right.
Right. Goes over there, then it alternates continents every other year.
Yeah, so it's not till next year, right?
Yeah. It's in the fall.
Yeah, okay.
ESPN bracketologist Joe Lenardi here with my favorite #1 seed, The Morning Rush.
Ashley Air is a proud sponsor of Razorback Athletics. Heat up your home with a free furnace when you purchase a qualifying new system from Ashley Air. And till February 28th. Get no down payment, no interest for 72 months on qualifying systems. And the Ashley Air Quality Assurance Guarantee, their 12-year parts and labor warranty. Get a free furnace when you purchase a new system from Ashley Air. Just go to AshleyAir.com to schedule your appointment. That's AshleyAir.com.
This is Bruce Stanton, Vice President and General Manager of Pradco Fishing in Fort Smith. Our #1 volume lure out of our 20 fishing brands is the Bobby Garland Baby Shad. We make them by the millions in our facility in Fort Smith, and the Baby Shad is without a doubt the #1 soft plastic crappie lure in the U.S. Fish it on a light jig head or underneath a float, and you'll find it's as productive as live bait. Available at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Academy, LureNet.com, and tackle stores all over the place. The Bobby Garland Baby Shad.
See more and do more in a new 300 Series compact track loader from New Holland. Its industry-leading 360-degree visibility is truly something to see at Williams Tractor in Fayetteville, Berryville, and Bobcat in Northwest Arkansas. With its reverse camera and 8-inch multifunction LCD display, super boom lift technology, rock-solid stability, and redesigned controls, you'll work with greater speed, safety, and precision. Maximum productivity starts with a clear view. Stop by Williams Tractor in Fayetteville, Berryville, and Bobcat in Northwest Arkansas today and see how a new 300 Series compact track loader helps you do more.
It's time to stop searching and start driving. Between February 16th and March 7th, get $70 reward card or virtual account after online submission. With the purchase of 4 new Michelin passenger or light truck tires, including the Michelin Cross Climate 2 tire. See MichelinMan.com for complete details. Offer expires March 7th, 2022. Void where prohibited.
Come see us at Southern Tire Mart, just off I-540 exit 14 in Fort Smith today for quality tires and the best-in-class service. Get where you need to be with Michelin and Southern Tire Mart.
Doe's Eat Place, serving award-winning steaks, has now added lobster tail and salmon to the menu. You can also enjoy delicious appetizers along with your choice of drinks from the largest selection of wines, beer, and liquor in the River Valley. Doe's Eat Place is open Tuesday through Thursday 5 till 9 and Friday and Saturday 5 till 10. Reservations are recommended. Call 784-9111. That's 784-9111. Doe's Eat Place, 422 North 3rd Street, Fort Smith.
Needing your roof repaired? Ramos Roofing is a local company that has over 25 years of experience, specializing in your residential or commercial roofing needs in the Oklahoma area. Ramos Roofing, a company you can trust, offering discounts to senior citizens, law enforcement, or healthcare workers, and assists in your insurance claims. Ramos Roofing, standing behind their work so you can stand under it. Call 479-420-9903. That's 420-9903. Ramos Roofing, working with you to build a better home.
We will make your life easier. Jody'sAuto.com will pick up your vehicle at your office or home or wherever. Take it to one of our 3 locations in Van Buren and Fort Smith. Perform any service your vehicle will ever need and deliver your vehicle back to you. Hi, Kim Bircher with Jody'sAuto.com. No missing work. No finding a sitter. No sitting in a waiting room. No wasting your precious time that you don't have. Many of our customers tell us, you're saving me money. Pickup and delivery, it's free when you spend $75 and only $10 if less. With our 3 oil change specials, you're going to find adding $10 will mean nothing. And we always have free shuttle service. You bring your vehicle to us and we will take you and pick you up in our vehicle. Honesty and customer service is always our #1 goal. We will make your life much easier. Jody'sAuto.com, JODYS Auto.com.
Tired of constant computer issues at work? And who knows what the real problem is? Is it the router? No, it's the hardware. Wait, they said it was the software. Call Hashtag Managed IT Services. Their multifaceted approach to IT support guarantees that everything is working at optimum performance. And Hashtag prevents the small problems from becoming big issues. Hashtag Managed IT Services in Van Buren. 479-802-4978. That's 479-802-4978. Hashtag Technology without the headache.
I want barbecue that's sliced thick, smoked long, and so tender it melts in your mouth.
sides that will fill me up, like a twice-baked potato, baked beans, hand-cut fries, okra, Texas toast. You know what I'm talking about. A restaurant where the whole family can go and get a great meal for a great price. Where the owner actually comes to your table to make sure everything tastes great. I'll tell you what I want. I want Jerry Neal's.
Harry Robinson Salisol Ford wants to buy or trade for your vehicle today, and they will give you top dollar. Pre-owned car values are at historic all-time highs, and your car today is worth more than it ever will be again. If you are driving a 2013 model or newer with 120,000 miles or less, bring it to Harry Robinson Salisol Ford, and they'll give you more than any other dealer. Even if you don't want to buy a new car, they'll still buy yours. Harry Robinson Salisol Ford, 1 mile south of exit 308 off I-40 in Salisol.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Somebody said we've got SEC bias. Deal with it. They're the best.
In the SEC, it just means more.
I know one thing, the SEC just got a little tougher.
This is your SEC update on the Morning Rush. Brought to you by Ashley Air. Keeping your home comfortable is what they do best. Trust them with your heating and cooling needs. Go to AshleyAir.com to request service today.
Some good games in the Southeastern Conference last night. Probably the one of the biggest note was Kentucky defeating LSU 71-66. Kentucky was kind of stoned in the first half, Tommy, of that basketball game. LSU looked like it may walk out a rough with the victory, but then the Wildcats turned it up both offensively and defensively, and Will Wade left with a little pouty face.
Yeah, and it's hard to root for Will Wade and LSU. I think what it doesn't do is take any of the shine off this weekend's games. We're going to be some big games coming up this weekend with the top 4 teams in the SEC playing each other. Arkansas, Kentucky, Auburn, Tennessee. 2 of the biggest games of the country are going to be this weekend of the SEC in college basketball.
You kind of want to go for actually, I say that. Who do you want to win this weekend between Auburn and Tennessee? Auburn, unless something crazy happens, is probably going to be the number 1 seed. I guess technically, mathematically, Arkansas is still eligible. Tommy, they'd have to drop 2 of 3, and Arkansas would have to win out if you're thinking about that 1 slot.
Now, think about this. If Arkansas beats Kentucky, they'll both have 4 losses in the loss column. And if Auburn beats Tennessee, that almost it gives Arkansas a huge edge for that 3 seed. So, I mean, if you think about possibly even climbing to number 2 somehow in the league, Arkansas evening up the loss column with Kentucky, who's 13-3, Arkansas's 11-4. That's big this weekend from that standpoint, and you hold off Tennessee. So I think you root for Auburn, and of course we're all rooting for the Razorbacks.
So you're saying root for Auburn. You don't think they got a shot?
Yeah, because I don't think you're going to get to. You're 2 games back in the loss column for the conference title. But what you could do is possibly get to the number 2 spot in the league, and you'd have the tiebreaker over Kentucky if you win that game. You don't want that game with Tennessee to end the year for it to come down to 3rd or 4th. You'd like to have it decided before then. Auburn beating Tennessee would help in that regard.
Would you rather play Auburn or Kentucky on Saturday in Tampa? I guess maybe a better determination could be made on Saturday following what you do against the Wildcats, but who would you rather play in that Saturday game?
Yeah, if Arkansas is successful, and that's a big if on Saturday against Kentucky, I think you always want to play Kentucky anytime you get a chance. I just think it's good for the program. Kentucky gets more run on Sports Center and the national media. I mean, I know Auburn's the team that's ranked, but if you look at net rankings, Kentucky's number 3. Auburn's down the list just inside the top 10. I think you get more metrics pushed by beating Kentucky. So I guess right now I'd say Kentucky for a lot of reasons, but forget about the rankings in the AP poll. The net rankings have Kentucky as the top team in the SEC. So that's probably the team you'd like to have a chance to beat twice.
Well, the top team in the Southeastern Conference in football has been Alabama and Nick Saban, and I think this was at a coach's clinic that he was asked about retirement, talking about the empty abyss it brings. He says, everyone asks me when I want to retire. Retire from what? I'm going to jump into an empty abyss? All right, what am I going to do? And he'd go on to talk about some other stuff, how certain things in the game keep him up at night. How old is he again?
69, I believe. Let me Google that, but I believe that's right. So, late 60s.
70. And
70.
So is this guy ever going to get, mean, is he just going to wither away kind of? And listen, I don't wish anyone.
His birthday's on Halloween.
Yeah,
so
I don't wish
he turned
anyone
70 on Halloween.
I don't wish anyone to die, but Paul Bear Bryant kind of got out of the game. He just kind of, wasn't it that year that he passed away?
Well, I mean, are you happy Tom Brady is retired for now?
I just want him to be. I just want Arkansas. I just want Arkansas to have a chance at the SEC championship. And until he is out of the league, I don't see a scenario where that happens.
You only get a chance to witness Tiger Woods, Tom Brady, Nick Saban greatness so many times in a sport's lifetime. You're witnessing it. I know it's costing Arkansas. It's costing a lot of other people. I mean, but the reality is LSU's figured it out. Auburn's figured it out. There's other teams in this league that have figured out how to win. That to me is just loser talk, wanting the best to get gone so you think you can get better. Well, everybody else is going to get better. And who's to say Alabama's not going to at least still compete at a semblance of what they are now?
All right, so what I would offer to you on that note is, do you think Arkansas can win an SEC championship with Nick Saban still as the head coach at Alabama, where he is and where he has been with this football program?
Here's how I would answer that question. They didn't win one before Nick Saban was there, so Nick Saban hasn't changed anything from 92 to 2006. Arkansas didn't win any there, and he came in the league and they hadn't won one since. So I don't think just Nick Saban leaving is going to be the magic elixir that Arkansas starts winning, divisions and championships again.
Okay, better question, because they got there 3 times. Can they get there with still in the league, though? Can they get there? Because they hadn't gotten there once with Saban in the league. With Petrino, Nutt, Bielema, I know Morris doesn't count, and I know Sam's only into his now 3rd year.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that can they beat Alabama straight up on a football field? It's one thing for LSU to do it. It's one thing for Auburn to do. That's a rival. Can they beat out Nick Saban and Alabama in the SEC?
But
in the West?
But that's not the only thing you got to do. You got to beat A&M. You got to beat LSU. You got to beat because there's been multiple teams that have beaten Alabama and not ended up in the SEC championship game. So just beating Alabama, that is one big domino to fall, but that's not the only thing you've got to do. But can Arkansas beat Bama? They've been close. I think they're building the kind of team at the line of scrimmage that can compete. Alabama's the better program. They have the better players top to bottom on the roster, and Nick Saban's responsible for that. But he is not invincible, and we've seen plenty of examples of that.
I can't pick Arkansas to beat Alabama until they actually do. As hyped as I am for this KJ Bryce Young matchup that we'll see the first weekend of October. I mean, they've come so close. And I know, again, Sam's only had I don't even count the first year. That's not even a real shot what he had to go up against in Alabama. So he's technically really had one real shot in year 2. And they got close, and we saw it in Tuscaloosa. But until they actually do it on the field, because I kept hearing it during Bobby Petrino years, and I kept hearing it during Bielema years, how they were going to do it this year, but I can't pick them to win. That's the old adage, the championship runs through so-and-so. For baseball in the SEC, championship runs through Baum-Walker Stadium. If you want to be the best team in the SEC, you either got to beat Arkansas or you got to beat them in Baum-Walker. The basketball championship, it runs through Lexington, Kentucky. You're not playing Kentucky in Rupp Arena, but the majority of the time, like Auburn did this year, you have to beat the Wildcats, as is for Alabama, especially in the SEC West. You have to beat the Crimson Tide to even have a shot. And what you just brought up is not only you have to beat the Crimson Tide, you got to beat Les Miles, good grief. Brian Kelly and LSU. You got to beat Mississippi State. You got to beat Ole Miss and Lane Kiffin. You got to beat all these different people on top of that. But I don't.
And soon to come, Texas and Oklahoma.
Exactly. I don't feel confident, and that's the other thing. Depending on these pods and in the divisions, Arkansas. I mean, it's going to give you that more difficult. And I don't know that competition breeds. What does it breed? It breeds intensity, and it breeds and try even harder. But I mean, I don't even know if the windows is the window going to get smaller winning the West or whatever division shakes out, depending on if Bama and Auburn move over or whatever. Until they beat Alabama, I cannot see them beating Alabama. That sounds weird, sounds dumb. I just can't see it until it actually happens before my eyes. I hope it does this year. I just don't see it this year, unfortunately.
Until Arkansas is at a point where you can put the majority of your starting 22 out there that are 4 stars, you're probably not going to get there. And that's the reality is Why are all these teams consistently up there? Because they put 4- and 5-star players. I don't think Arkansas is going to get a plethora of 5 stars, but they do recruit and do get 4 stars. But when you get to a point or have that 1 year where it all lines up and the transfer portal's good to you, and you can put the vast majority of your starters out there that are 4-star athletes that have played to that level, then you got a chance, because that's what the other guys are doing. If you're going to be on a level footing, that's what you've got to do.
And it's good to see Sam Pittman have his recruiting class right now in the top 5. They've moved up slowly but surely each and every year since he's been the coach on this campus, and you'd like to see the trajectory of that continue to move forward with this football team. This is going to do it for your SEC update. It is brought to you by Ashley Air this morning.
Yeah, Ashley Air, they're proud sponsors of Razorback Athletics. Hey, hopefully that furnace is cranking along just fine. Right now you can get a free furnace through the end of the month. You got a few more days to cash in on these savings from Ashley Air. Just go to AshleyAir.com. Find out about no down payment, no interest for 72 months on qualifying systems and the Ashley Air Quality Assurance Guarantee. It's their 12-year parts and labor warranty. Get a free furnace when you purchase a new system from Ashley Air before the end of the month. Just go to AshleyAir.com. For your appointment, that's AshleyAir.com.
Put this question out yesterday, and it got some interesting feedback, and I wonder your and Drew's opinion on this morning, that over the years when you've had people over, they've left food, they've left beer, they've left liquor, and there's a debate out there, how long do you have to wait before you can eat it, before you can drink it? So on the subject of, we'll start with beer and liquor, and maybe there's a difference between some Michelob Ultras and Buffalo Trace, like a really high-end liquor. What is the time parameter that you can consume your said friend's stuff if they don't get it from your house in time? Is it 1 day? Is it 2 to 6? Is it a week or more? Or is it never okay to consume their food or alcohol that they may or may not have left at your place of residence?
When I can no longer see their taillights, man, it's mine. But hey, if it's not a 2-day deal, hey, they're not coming back tomorrow to watch the game. They're there Saturday for college football. They're coming back Sunday to watch the NFL with you. If it's not one of those deals and they've just left it, that to me is a gift to the host. So once you can't see those taillights anymore, bottoms up, baby.
Regardless of what if it's a really high-end liquor, because I know you drink some of the more expensive stuff. If a friend leaves that, is he or she gonna be
Top shelf
mad?
Tommy, that's what they call me.
Yeah. Is he or she gonna be mad if you consume that?
My friends generally don't leave bottles of Blanton's at my house, or Eagle Rare. So they may bring one over, but they always seem to find their way back into the car. That Eagle Rare or that Blanton's.
Drew, your thought on this?
I'm with Tommy. If they're coming back the next day or two, then yes, or they ask if they can just leave it here. If they don't necessarily say anything, I'm 50-50. If it's liquor, I'll text and ask if they want it back. If it's beer and I know they're not coming back till the next week, well, guess what? It's mine.
It's getting consumed.
I think you're right. It depends on if it's a bottle of Evil Evan or something like that. Some Evan Williams, pour up. I mean, but if it's something high end, I think you need to be careful about that.
Yeah, Evan Williams, Rich
and
Rare.
Don't leave a bottle of Eagle Rare behind. Me and Drew may get into it.
Yeah, we will.
So, that's something. There's some liquors that should be left behind or just thrown away. I think Evan Williams and Rich and Rare, those were the two.
Have you tried the Evan Williams Fire?
Is it better than Jack Fire or Fireball?
Try it. See, I'd love to hear what you think about it.
Is it good, or are you walking into a trap?
No. We've had about 2 or 3 of those in the last few weeks. So
okay, I'll
try it.
I'll swing side, east side when they get back open and do that a whirl. But I was just curious because there was some beer that was left over and I didn't partake, but I wanted to get y'all's thoughts. No, I've drank yours before. All right, for Drew and Tommy, I'm Ty. Everyone have a great Thursday. Be safe out there on the roads.
Make your backyard dreams a reality this summer with an in-ground pool from Burton Pools and Spas. Save $5,000 this month on select in-ground pools. And with payments starting at $290 a month, your own backyard oasis is not out of reach. Be one of the first 7 families to call and receive a free upgrade to a saltwater system, a nearly $2,000 value. Save $5,000